So, too much is going on right now. The Pac-12 is just destroying itself and crumbling right in front of our faces, right? There's been a bunch of NFL news, especially with the preseason starting. Even more college football news with the Iowa State players and their gambling scandal. And we got some XFL news and USFL news. So you already know it's time to get it popping. Let's go. The Gridiron starts now, baby. I was going to let it play again, but no, we're here. What's going on, y'all? Welcome into the Gridiron podcast. It's your boy, Jersey the King, and we've got a big show for you guys. I promise you it's going to be live today. I got a special guest joining me today. You already know we go back like cook crack since we met. I'm going to bring him in. I ain't even going to delay. Let's get it. Gridiron Nation's own Gabriel Garcia. What's going on, Gabe?
What's up, brother? Hey, give me a second, man. I'm having some issues with my mic here. I'm just trying to adjust it here on the settings real quick, man. 1 second here.
No
Sorry
problem.
about
I'll bring
that.
you back in a minute.
Here we go.
Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready, bro. But yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to definitely get into some college football news. It's a lot going on. That's going to be huge. We're going to be talking about the NFL preseason starting. Of course, the XFL, the IFL to XFL Combine, that was held yesterday. We'll see if we can get those results up, and if they have them online, we'll definitely get those on for you guys, so we can check those out and go over the IFL to XFL Combine results if they are listed. So I'll keep looking for that too. I'm actually on the site right now, trying to see if that Combine result is up here, and as of right now, it's not. So we may have to go to another XFL news source, which may be the newsroom or the news hub. It's just how that works. Also, there's been some more signings within the USFL and the XFL for players going to the NFL. There's been a lot. So the total of XFL players that's been signed now currently has gone up to about 45 plus. So it's gonna show that there's a lot of talent out there, man. There's a lot of talent in the XFL, and there's some talent out there in the USFL, and it's getting shown. You know what I mean? It's getting seen, it's getting acknowledged, and these players are getting signed. So let's go ahead and Gabe, you ready? All right.
What is up, man?
All right,
hey, man, my bad, bro. That was proper introduction and everything, man. And your boy was slipping, man. But I'm here. I'm here.
Look at my babe.
What's up, everybody? Guys? What's happening?
It's my boy Gabe Garcia from Gridiron Nation.
What up? What up? What up?
We're doing a special collaboration today. We're going to be talking about our picks for the NFC conferences and the AFC conference. It's a big show. Jamil, what's going on? Jamil, what's going on? Smoke Shop family. This is my smoke shop that I go to every week, man. Every day of the week, Jamil? Practically. We appreciate the love, man. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Y'all make sure
what's
you keep
up,
watching
because
it's going to be a long
Hit
shot.
Up in there.
Hit's always here, man. Hit's here every damn show, man. This is
what is up, Hit?
What's going on? We got Facebook popping. We're live on Facebook.
Hit is here to hate on my Cowboys on a weekly basis, man.
Yes, he is. He's here to hate on our Cowboys.
It's all good,
every week,
man. It's all good, baby.
It's, it's just the hatred.
That's all right, man.
The blasphemous things that come out of these people's mouths.
We're gonna be all right, Jersey.
Oh, this
week. All right, man. Stephen A is the one to start. He gave all these people the confidence to hate on the Cowboys and make a living out of it, man. I'm telling you, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, he gave everybody on social media the confidence to hate because now it's the cool thing to do. But it's all good, bro. Because when you got this many haters, that means you're doing something right.
Exactly. He started it and with First Take. That show in a hole. Jesse Padilla, what's going on?
JP, what's up, my brother?
Join the Cowboys.
That's
What's
my boy
on,
JP,
Jesse?
man. He's a Giants fan, man. So
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, speaking of JP, how do you feel about them not really paying Saquon and giving Danny No Bones Jones all that money? I mean, come on. What's going on with your front office over there, JP?
Man.
What are you guys doing over there in New York?
Danny
Danny
Dimes. They were calling him Danny Dimes on Twitter again today. I was like, homeboy couldn't even say, you know what? I'm just going to shave off a couple million off of my $40 million contract and give it to Saquon because he's the one who got us where we got last year. But
he
wasn't
going
to do that. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? I don't understand why to make that move. Yeah. I don't.
No.
Because at the end of the day, it's like everyone in the world said, Saquon Barkley carried the Giants on his shoulder, his back. Hell, we had players wrapped around his freaking hip.
Man.
Period.
Yeah.
Barkley
he's a Giants fan, but he's a real Giants fan. I'm gonna tell you that.
No, you're right. You're right.
He
did fold. He did not stand his ground and hold out. I wish he would have.
Yeah.
I wish he would have held out, honestly.
I mean, come on, man. What are we looking at? 900K? It's like basically his franchise tag had he signed it, man. But whatever, man. Whatever. He basically just gave him another year of tagging him, and they'll use it, and he's never going to get the contract he wanted now at this point. That's all I'll say. But,
it says the Cowboys are the Xbox of console wars.
Damn, man. Hey, I like Xbox, man.
Hate is real, bro. The hate is real over here, yo. Y'all do not like the Cowboys.
Damn, why you gotta come like that, man? Damn. With the Xbox of the console wars? Are you kidding me?
Flames in the building. What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
What's up, Flame?
How we feeling? Flame says Danny plays the most important position in football. No disrespect to Saquon, but he has been injured, and the best ability is availability. So it was a best bet he wasn't going to get that contract. I get you. Yeah. But I don't think Daniel Jones should have got paid as much as he did. You're right to an extent. Yes, he plays the most important position in football. But let's be honest. If you have a great quarterback, but you don't have a great running back, do you get a balanced offense?
Yeah. Yeah, you become one-dimensional, man. Become one-dimensional, and guys start bringing people at your quarterback because they're not worried about your running backs at that point. And it's true. I get Flame's point, but the fact that he's talking about, it's not a surprise, and I get that, but that doesn't mean that he didn't earn a new contract, a better contract than what a franchise tag was going to pay him at $10 million. He earned that. He earned better than that. Now, I don't know what their talks were. There was reports and rumors about what was being put out there as far as like the offer to him, but that's the team side saying it. You know what I mean? So there's two truths and then the real truths in the middle. So I don't know, man, but I still feel, yes, I get it. Like Flame said, I do understand that, but
yeah, and I get it.
Don't mean it was right though. I don't even mean that it was right for them to do him the way they did though.
Exactly. He didn't deserve all that. He did not deserve all that money is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
They could have gave him a lot less money.
Straight up.
Period. Now, since we are on the NFL subject, let's stick with the NFL subject. Malik Hooker of the Dallas Cowboys yesterday signed a extension. We'll just rock with that real quick. He did sign an extension. Before we get into that, listen, it's an honor to get trolled by me, so the Cowboys should be honored to be a non-exclusive console comparison. This is why we love you, Hit. But Flame says, I agree Barkley earned a better contract, but gone are those contracts that Zeke, Cook, and McCaffrey got. And you're right.
I don't know if those are gone completely, though. You know, there's going to be a back or two here in the next, you know, maybe even from this draft class. Could be Bijan Robinson. Who knows? There's going to be that running back that's coming along that's going to demand a big contract, and that's going to be the focal point of his entire offense that they're going to pay.
Josh Jacobs should have gotten that contract.
No, but we knew the Raiders were going to play this with him, though. There's going to be a franchise that's going to value a running back the way Tennessee values Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? That they're going to say, okay, we're just going to throw our money at this dude. Whether it fails or not is another question, but there will be another running back. I think he's going to be playing this year. Could be from this draft class. Who knows?
It actually it gives me some respect for Carolina. They gave Christian McCaffrey his money.
Yeah.
And even traded him.
Well, and you know what? The team, they did right by him in more than one way. Yes, because you said they gave him his money, but then they're like, look, we're a sinking ship. We're gonna send you off to a contender, you know, where you can go try and win you a chip to San Francisco. So hell, man, he's set. He's good. They did him right twice. So I gotta give Carolina respect for that.
Yeah, they definitely did. Flame says Bijan might get somewhere that Henry got, which is about 30 million, but that's about it, which is true. They're not going to go too crazy with the contract for running backs like that.
The whole thing with the whole thing that they're making that's going to be a problem now with this going on, and you got the running backs. You know, we've been reading about how they've been in Zoom meetings together and all this stuff, man.
Yeah,
they're going to start playing hardball when it comes to that rookie contract. You know, they're going to demand more guaranteed money. And ultimately, that's going to hurt the owners to where eventually, maybe in about a year or two, they're going to get back to the bargaining table again. And the whole Players Association is going to have to come up with something, which I'm really surprised the Players Association has kept silent on this whole thing. They may not have any power to change anything right now, but they got a voice and they're not using it, man. They're not using it.
They do have the power. They do have the power.
It would take getting back to the table. But right now, it looks like they're just kind of distancing themselves from this.
It would take a strike.
Yeah, it would. They're distancing themselves.
And even if it's a running back strike,
let's
keep it real. Even if it's just the running backs across the league, and they were to say we're not going to play this season.
Imagine an NFL without running backs.
Let's see how that would go.
You know, it hasn't worked very well for arena football. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
So you need the running backs, man. They're getting disrespected, bro. It makes me sick.
It does.
For real.
This is the Gridiron Podcast Show live from the Las Vegas studios. I got my boy Gabriel Garcia from the Gridiron Nation. Special guest with me today. We are going to be talking a lot of football, y'all, so stay tuned. Flame said they can't strike with what was agreed upon in the CBA. You're right. You know what? You're right. You're damn right. I forgot all about that. I'm sorry, guys. He's right. I forgot all about that. But I'm just saying. Something could happen.
Let me tell you something, though. If players strike before this contract, when players would strike, they would still lose that money. The players can choose to not make it a united strike, and everybody just decide to say, you know what, I'm not going to play this year for my own reasons.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's loopholes to this. There always is loopholes to this. But what if we just had a couple of the big guys just say, you know what, we're not going to play this year. Jacobs, we're looking like Jacobs. That could become likely. But let's just say in another world, Derrick Henry and McCaffrey, all these guys decide, you know what, we're not going to play this year. You know, and see how fans like that. See, the fan backlash is what would get the ownership. Is the fan backlash.
Exactly.
You know.
Now, back to my boy Malik Hooker. For all us Cowboy fans out there.
Yeah, man. We got distracted there for a minute. JP, it's your fault, dog.
Signing a 3-year contract extension worth up to $24 million, $16.5 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm also hearing that Donovan Wilson is supposed to be signing an extension as well. So
yeah, and he's hurt right now, but they're expecting him back by week 1. So
exactly. It'll be good to have those two guys back. Flame says back with the running back conversation, even if the star running backs say they are going to strike, it's next man up for the running back that's only making $700K to get their opportunity.
It is, but that don't mean the talent's going to be the same.
And that don't mean those guys are going to play.
Yeah, true.
They might feel the same way. Like, hey, if I'm worth this amount of money, pay me.
Yeah, everything going on right now is going to affect, good or bad, the young running backs that just came into the league and the running backs that are coming in the next few years. Everything going on right now is going to affect the running back situation of the next few years, man. It is.
He said the Giants are more interesting than
man.
I can't even say that loud.
Damn, JP.
I couldn't even say
My boys got jokes today, man.
I couldn't say it loud. I just oh man. Think about the Scabs in the 80s when those players went on strike. They played pretty good. Yeah, but this ain't the 80s though. This ain't the 80s no more.
Yeah, and they played pretty good. They didn't play elite.
It's not it's not like the XFL where these players are trying to play for the love of the game. This is the NFL. These players want their bag. And if they're not getting their bag, they're not going to play. And if they can convince other players to look at what is being done to them and say, hey, when your skills get up to par and you're up to this same level and it comes time for you to get big money, ain't you going to want your bag? Ain't you going to want to be paid how you're or what you're worth for your skills? You get what I'm saying? And your talent. It's you got to imagine that when these guys sit in that running backs room and they're like, man, the hell with this playbook right now, man. I want to study these damn plays. I want my money. You know what I mean? That frustration really comes out. And when those young guys that are coming into the league, they're like, oh, this is an opportunity. But then they're like, hold on. What if I show up and show out?
They don't.
And everybody's looking at me like, oh, he could be the next big thing. And then it's time for me to get my bag. And the same thing happens to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a whole effect that ain't good. It could be a domino effect that's not good. And if the running backs around the league get to talking in that locker room, you never know what could really happen.
And they're talking to each other already. Yeah. They're talking to each other already, those running backs, man. They're having Zoom meetings. You know, they're not stupid, man.
Okay, Flame, but again, it's maybe your chance to show what you can do, but when you show what you can do and you do a damn good job at it, and it comes time to pay you, and they be like,
nah,
do it again for another year.
Yeah.
And then you do it again for another year, but you do it even better. And you're like, pay me. And they're like, I'm gonna do it
again for one more year. Yep.
And then you do it for a third year in a row, and you're like, hold on, man. I've done everything y'all asked, and you still ain't giving me my bag.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Think of it that way. And it'll happen if it will be the same for wide receivers. It will be the same for any position. Look at Zach Martin. Who thought Zach Martin at any point in time would hold out in training camp?
Man. Yeah, that man.
You feel what I'm saying? Who would have thought that Zach
that's
Martin,
a core piece, man. And that's a core piece. A guy who's always been quiet, never had issues. At one point was the highest paid guard in the league. And now to see like a week before training camp, like we were like, what? What are you, Zach Martin? Nah, man. He'll show up. He still ain't showed up. $500,000 in fines later. We still got no update.
I hate you, Ed. No, Flame says, let's look at a few of these running backs that took the 2/3 year deals worth 12 to 15 million and don't even have a Pro Bowl nod. I'm just saying, look how much they're getting disrespected. Look how much they're getting disrespected. Zach Martin saw how much these guards are getting paid, so of course he wants to be the highest paid. Because he's the best guard in the league.
Yeah, but what Zach Martin wants is guaranteed money. His guaranteed money's up. There's no guaranteed money.
That's what he wants.
See, when he signed his original contract, that made him the highest paid guard in the league. Yes, it's been surpassed since then. That's every position now. It's getting surpassed every single year. So man, the whole thing with Zach Martin is I'm really on the fence with this, man, because I see his side and I get it as the fan. But as knowing what Jerry Jones is as a businessman and knowing how he's come out and openly said we have to roll some of this money over for Micah Parsons and some of these other guys, then I'm like, damn, now that's Jerry the businessman. You know, he didn't get where he's at by being a nice guy. That's all I'm saying. So there's two sides to
Make sure you guys subscribe to the Gridiron podcast on YouTube. we will be moving the show soon. So make sure you guys subscribe. Zach Martin is in his 30s, I believe.
Yeah.
I think he's like in his early 30s. If I'm not mistaken, he's like
he's like what is he, 32, 33?
32,
32
33.
years old. 32 years old. Yeah.
So he's
32.
still got years, man. He's still got some years left.
Well, and the fact
He's
that
not
he's still
always
playing
an
on an
injury prone.
elite level, you know?
Exactly. He's not an injury prone player. He rarely gets injured. You know what I mean? And he's been around for such a long time, bro. You got to imagine Zach Martin is one of the best guards in the league in the last
Of all time.
what?
Of all
10
time.
years?
Yeah.
He could put you could actually put him in that category as one of the greatest O linemen of all time. Not just guards, but offensive linemen, period.
Yeah.
Because you could throw Zach Martin in at a tackle and he'll still do his job better than half the other guards.
Jersey, everything you just said is why I'm saying the fan in me. The fan in us is like, look at what Jersey just said. This is why you got to give this man more money. That's what the fan in me is saying too. You know what I mean? And that's why everything you just said, the fans were saying, pay this man. So
I agree with that. Nelson and Tooney, I could put up there with that, best guards in the league as of right now. Yes, I can definitely do that. But I'm just saying, as a whole, Zach Martin deserves his guaranteed money more than anything. It's not about him being the highest paid guard in the league. It's about him having that guaranteed money because they know we need Zach Martin. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones know we need Zach Martin.
Wow, hold on now. Jerry knows that he's got financially though right now. He's holding the cards. That's why he's playing hardball. He knows there's no more guaranteed money for this guy. That $500,000 he's already incurred in fines, that's non-waivable. So there's money coming out of his bank account now with no guarantee of money getting put back in. He's only due to make about $1 million this year on his salary, but that's because in March he agreed to them shifting most of that into a signing bonus, which I've tried to explain to people has nothing to do with the actual the cap hit. The cap hit's still the same. But I think with Jerry though, Jerry knows that he's got the cards on his cards when it comes to the money. So it's
like Flame said, that Parsons contract, that Parsons contract is coming up.
And that's going to be big. That's going to be big.
And we need Micah. If you're dumb enough, Jerry, if you're old and senile enough,
would you be surprised? No.
I mean,
Micah is this defense isn't what it is without him. There's just no
he's
way.
A franchise player.
The team. He is a franchise player.
I think he's our franchise player.
That contract's going to be huge, man. It's going to be record setting. It will.
I think he's going to get a 10-year contract like Patty.
I would love to see that.
I think he might be the first defensive player to ever get a contract that long. 10 years, damn near $500,000. Why not?
The way this man is looking in camp right now, this is going to be a massive year for him. Yeah. You see what he's doing to Tyron Smith in practice, man. Like they're having to like tell him, calm down, bring it down, Micah, because he's almost getting to Dak, and you see that red jersey, man.
He's going full gear. He's going full gear. He's ready for
this
season, man. He's ready for the season.
He wants that DPOY. That's what he wants.
Yeah,
he wants that.
He definitely does.
Yeah.
Now let's switch gears, switch teams. I should say. And
but by the way, real quick, this whole started with Malik Hooker. I'm just telling y'all, y'all need to stop sleeping on that Dallas Cowboys safety trio we got with Hooker, Curse, and Wilson. Y'all stop sleeping on this dudes. That's one of the best safety combinations in the league, man. That's all I'm saying.
No, Flame, we was going a little overboard. I know he ain't gonna get like no 10-year contract. Yeah. I know he's not gonna get a 10-year contract, bro. I was going a little overboard. I'm just, talking crap. I'm a Cowboys fan. They need to pay him. We could see
like a 4 or 5 year contract with a year, another year possible to add by the team, man.
Yeah,
with an
optional year. What's going on, GV? Yeah. Welcome in, brother.
What's up, GV?
GV Addis. He will be hosting the Wake and Bake Gamers podcast with me once we get that started. let's talk about this Alvin Kamara situation, because this is going to be big for the Saints going into the beginning of the season. I feel it's going to be big because you got to imagine starting off with a brand new quarterback, bringing in, coming into the fold. Now he doesn't have to miss any practice or anything like that.
Yeah, he can still play preseason, I think, too.
He can still play preseason games. He can still participate in preseason practice and exercises and all that stuff. But as far as the first 3 games of the season, it's critical.
Well, I think this is the reason they knew something was coming. They knew this. They've known this for a while, and I think that's the whole reason they went out and got Jamal Williams from Detroit. Yep. This is the reason right here. Plus, I mean, he gives them a different, dimension in between the tackles, but I think this is why they went and did that. They knew a suspension was coming. They just didn't know how long or short it would be. So it was a great move in hindsight.
Yeah, because not only that, when he does come back, now they got a 2-headed monster possibly at running back.
Oh, nasty.
And then you can look at them putting a T-bone set in the backfield. Kamara on one side of the car, Jamil on the other side.
Yeah, man.
He got options to, and Derek Carr's he's got a little bit of ability to run. He's got some
he'll
ability.
Run when he has to. Yeah, he'll run when he has to.
Just having them 3 back there with the defense is not knowing, what could come, who's going to run the ball, who's going to go off for a pass, and who's going to block, when it comes to the 2 back. So I just think this suspension isn't gonna kill them, but for the first 3 games, I think it may change the dynamic of their season or the momentum of the beginning of the season.
I think the play calling will definitely be different than what we'll see when Kamara comes back. That's for sure.
Okay. I understand what you mean by that, because you gotta set the game plan up differently when Kamara's out there.
Alvin 2 different skill sets. Type of back. Yeah, exactly. Kamara's that pass game guy that you get him in open space, whereas Jamal Williams is that bruiser that's just going to pound your line.
I called him Jameer. My bad, Jameer or Jamal Williams. I think Jamal's more of the power back. I think they brought him in there more for the power back position as well, on top of trying to get these 3 games taken care of with Kamara being suspended.
Jamal Williams led the league in touchdowns last year, man. Look at how dangerous Kamara is in the red zone. When you get those 2 dudes on the field together, man.
The Saints will be all right with Carr at the helm. The NFC South is wide open with the Saints being the main contender. Hold on.
Nah, I agree.
Listen, the Saints are the favorites. Don't get me wrong. The Saints are the favorites, especially with Carr back there. The Saints are the favorites, but don't sleep on the Falcons. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nah, Ritter. I haven't seen anything from Ritter yet that makes me think that
it's not about Ritter.
Well, I get you. They've got one of the best offensive lines. That was
Bijan Robinson is going.
Why though? Why did you see what Algier did last year? Did you see what Algier did this year? Robinson made no sense to me for them taking him that high, especially after what Algier did in that second half of the season, man. Like, he was a rookie, came in, started balling out. Why did you make this move? I just want to know. It's weird to me. And they took him high. Like, they took Bijan high, man.
They took him really high.
Yeah. So they really believe in him to be. I mean, you only do that when you're going to make this dude a franchise player.
That's their point. That's their opinion.
Yeah.
That's their purpose.
Now you still got Pitts there too. But that pass game is not going to matter if Ritter isn't that dude. And I don't know if he is.
I think he just needed to get the jitters out. I'm going to be honest. I think he just needed to get the jitters out. And I don't know. I think he'll be better because it wasn't working with Mariota back there.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, man. The man, what did he play? 4-6 games, 2 touchdown passes? Are you kidding me?
True. I mean, Mariota did do a better job at quarterback. I think Mariota did.
It made no difference. It
really didn't. I think they should have drafted a quarterback, to be honest.
Yeah,
not even gonna lie.
I agree.
But
I mean, you guys didn't know. But let me ask you though, could you see this team by 10 games in, if they're struggling and they're on a balance for the division 10 games in, could you see them turning it to Taylor Heineke.
Yes.
I could too. That's to
If
me.
they
That's a good
start
backup to
Taylor
have.
Heineke, if they start Taylor Heineke, Atlanta has a chance to compete in
That's
the
all I'm
NFC
saying.
South.
That's all I'm saying.
You
Heineke's already
you
shown
feel
the
me?
ability to throw the ball. Heineke's already shown the ability.
Not even the hell with just throwing the ball. Taylor Heineke showed he could lead a damn team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
have a winning record as a starting
he's
quarterback.
Tough, man. You see this dude run out there. The reason the players followed him last year, how many times did you see Heineke out there running, man, lowering his shoulder into linebackers, trying to get that extra yard? That's the kind of stuff that guys follow, man.
Exactly.
That's why Washington was in it last year. That what happened with them is a whole other conversation. But you know what I'm saying? Now Taylor Heineke's there. I'm just saying I could see if they're 10 games in, they're sitting there at, a chance to win the division. They might. It could happen if Ritter is struggling. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. I just feel that, no, the Saints are the favorite, of course. The Saints are the favorite. He said,
that's my
Taysom
sleeper
Hill
team,
stock.
Hey, man,
What's going on,
the Saints are they're my sleeper team in the NFC right now that people don't seem to be talking enough about, man, because Carr's going to make that offense a whole lot different. That's all I'm saying.
But listen, Taylor's worth it. Taylor's worth it. Listen, what did he do in Washington? He had a winning record as a starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. Right or wrong?
Had them
Flame,
in the playoff. Huh?
Right or wrong? Gabe, right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
Gridiron Nation, right or wrong?
Right.
The Gridiron fans, right or wrong? Taylor Heineke and Washington had a starting or starting quarterback record that was a winning record. He was above 500, period. He led Washington. Washington would have made the playoffs last season if Taylor Heineke would have stayed the starting quarterback and not Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Would have been the first division to ever they could have made history, and I blame it all on Ron Rivera. That's all I'm saying. Ron Rivera is his fault.
And you're right. But I'm just saying, you let Taylor Heineke start for the Falcons instead of Desmond Ridder, guess what? You have a better chance of competing against the Saints for the number one spot in the NFC South. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
That's it. Saints are probably going to win it hands down.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you completely, man. I mean, there's a reason that they brought him there.
It don't matter if it's a different offensive scheme. Listen.
Yeah.
What did Taylor Heineke do in the XFL? Then what did he do? He came over from the XFL, transitioned back to the NFL, or transitioned to the NFL, and then what? Got his name really heard. I'm just saying, the boy's a winner. The kid is a damn winner.
There was Washington fans all year last year that even in losses, they were just loving the way this dude played the game. You know what I mean? Very balanced.
Said I think the 9-game burst we will see from TH and Atlanta will be from Taylor Heineke in Atlanta will be better than letting him start all 17 games, in my opinion. So do you think, Pat, just to allow him to only start nine out of the 17 and see what Ridder does in the other?
I gotta wonder what kind of, if any kind of leash they're gonna have on Ridder this year. You know, are they gonna look at it and say, I'm wondering what Atlanta's mindset is, Arthur Smith, if he's going into this season saying, all right, we're only gonna give him so much slack until we're gonna yank it back and put in Heineke, or if they're like, you know what, we're all in, go to bat for the year with Ridder. I don't know, man.
Pat says they go 4-4, pull Ridder.
See, and I can see that. That's why I said like 10 games in, I'm looking at 5-5. But if they're still, in the hunt for the division, we could be seeing things change if Ridder's struggling. So I could see that 4-4. Yeah, definitely.
Taylor Heineke go 6-3 or 7-2. I could see that for sure. I can see that for sure, especially with having those backs back there. That takes pressure off of them. I think that's why I think some of these teams are trying to get a two-headed monster at running back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really starting to see that around the league.
That seems to be the popular thing to do nowadays.
If you notice, it's really going on around a lot in the league. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to be something that a lot of teams start looking at. Honestly, I mean, hell, we even had it at one point in Dallas with Zeke and Tony Pollard. So
yeah,
it's something that people might want to take a look at. Now the preseason has begun. How are we feeling about this preseason game, y'all? How did you feel about the Jets and Browns preseason game? Let me know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. But Gabe, how did you feel, man? What did you think of that game?
Honestly, I was bored, man. Like, and I mean, could the media, like, I don't know what the hell, man. Like, are they sleeping with Aaron Rodgers? Every one of these dudes talking in that damn game, like, everybody's in love with Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden. Oh, it's a new Aaron Rodgers. It's a great Aaron Rodgers. It's a relaxed Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, until you lose some games. You know, they're in the honeymoon phase right now, man. And the media is freaking loving it. They're fawning all over it. They're slobbering all over it. It's nasty as hell, and it makes me sick. Makes me sick, bro.
Real quick, Pat said they went all in on Ritter, but you have 3 more years of him. Smith needs to figure out a solid push to the playoffs or risk being out of a job. Yeah. This irritated the hell out of me too. Football is back. I'm like, football ain't went nowhere. Let's keep it 100.
Right.
Football ain't went nowhere. Stop playing with the XFL and the USFL like it ain't football.
See, the real football heads know. Real football heads know. We know football ain't gone away this year. It's been there all year. There's a difference between NFL fanboys and actual football fans.
Exactly. For the first time, we've had actual year-round football.
Yes.
Honestly. And that right there has been just something that not only all football fans have wanted, but just sports fan in general. You know what I mean? Because any sports fan will always turn on a football game. I don't care if you're not the biggest sports junkie on football or the biggest sports fan of football. You're going to watch that game. Something about it's going to be entertaining, you know. So having football year round is just amazing. But yeah, Flame, that whole football is back slogan is just, it's disrespectful.
Man, I could have come up with that. Pay me what they're paying these marketing dudes. You know what I mean? We could have come up with something better than football is back. Yeah, that's kind of obvious. Don't you think?
The NFL is back
every single year. Yeah.
Say that. The NFL is back.
Yeah. I think they did that as a make a point. Like, the king is back. I think that's what they're doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
They tried to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're trying to flex a little bit and say, all right, the small timers had their time in the sun, but now we're back, baby. You know, that's what the NFL's doing, man. That's what they're doing. Yeah.
Exactly. Flame said they could have just said the NFL season is back once again. Exactly. They could have said something to that nature, but to be disrespectful to the XFL and the USFL like that, come on now. Especially after so many teams have signed XFL players and USFL players, which we'll be getting to here.
Yeah.
Later in the show.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of these dudes are in camp now. Show a little bit of love, man. Especially with that kind of little bit of that deal they got going on with XFL. It's like, come on, man. Show them a little bit of love. They're not going to take you out.
They can't name us the Stars. Can't name us the Stars. Dallas Stars. Hockey team. The fact that the NFL had to say that means they actually care. You know what? You're right.
Yeah, that means I get what you're saying.
It was from Fox Sports Twitter, which exactly Fox owns the USFL. If no one didn't know, which we talk about all the time, and I sit here and I get angry. I'm like, the USFL is owned by Fox. Fox put some more damn money into this shit. But you know, they had better presentation on television than the XFL did.
Oh yeah,
that's, in my opinion, that was what separated it. Talent wise, they had a lot of talent. I think the XFL had a little bit more talent.
I think the USFL though on the field was just a lot more professional. The game flowed a lot more professionally, but I get what you're saying though. Like the explosiveness and certain players that stood
But
out.
it's
There was a lot more. In the
this is my
XFL.
thing though. Like, it's a spring league.
Mhm.
We have spring leagues now. It doesn't have to be exactly what the NFL is. It doesn't have to replicate the NFL for it to be real football. You want the game shit. We want the NFL games to be more fast paced. We want the NFL games to get over long or get over faster. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Not just the USFL and the XFL, they disrespected the CFL, the IFL, the ELF, the IFA, the AFL, and the CIF. You damn sure right. What's going on, Andy? Welcome in.
Yo, my boy Hendo. What's up, Hendo? Thanks for jumping on, man.
What's going on, brother? Welcome in. Welcome in. Appreciate you being here.
One of the few cool Steeler fans I know. Just saying.
Hey, you like that that velvet curtain over there?
No.
He's, because they talk about they got a steel curtain. I'm just saying, it's a little velvet to me. No, I think the Steelers are actually going to do pretty good this year. I think the Steelers are actually
the Steelers good this year. The Steelers, Joey man, Porter Jr., they only got better. Watch. They only got better, and they got Allen Robinson there. Yeah,
bro, they got Joey Porter Jr.
And now that whole defense, that defense that had so many injuries last year too, they're coming back. Steelers, watch out, y'all. NFC North, just saying.
Yeah,
we'll get
NFC
there,
or AFC North.
AFC North.
I'm gonna give you my opinion on that game.
Man,
they made such a big deal about Zach Wilson. This is what irritated me about it. They talked so much about Zach Wilson. Dude was out there for like how many series? Like 1-2 series?
Yeah, I think a lot of people were expecting to see him a lot more. A lot of people. I was expecting to see more of him.
Exactly.
If you don't want the dude, then put him out there as trade bait. Try to give him a chance to look good against these scrubs.
Because what the hell did he do? They're like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is with him now, so he's gotten he's gotten better. What?
Aaron Rodgers been there for 2 weeks, man. Bro. Aaron Rodgers been there for 2 weeks. Stop it.
This dude's he's thrown like 6 passes, bro. Like 6 passes in that game, and you're like, oh yeah, the work he's done with Aaron Rodgers in the offseason so far is just you can really see it's paid off. What the hell did he do?
The man couldn't complete.
He didn't even score a touchdown. Come on now, Dorian Thompson-Robinson for Cleveland, former UCLA Bruin, came in there and showed why he was drafted.
Yeah.
This man got it done on his feet. This man got it done through the air. He scored on. This man is going to show that he's going to be an asset on that Cleveland Browns team. Anything happens to Deshaun Watson, he's there. And he'll be able to play with the first team offense. You know what I mean? Zach Wilson did nothing that impressed me for them to be sitting here hyping him up like Aaron Rodgers really did something for him.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And that irritated me. I liked seeing what Watkins did from the Birmingham Stallions player that Cleveland picked up. I like seeing him score that touchdown on that. He ran a real good route. That cut that he made on that defender was actually a damn good cut. He blew by that boy. He blew right by that boy, and DTR hit him with a dot.
Yeah.
Pew! It was a beautiful play, but I was impressed. I was very impressed with seeing Watson going out there and scoring.
I am really this preseason rooting for anybody that is going to get playing time that came from the XFL, USFL. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him, man. I really, really am.
He said it was pretty funny seeing the USFL Twitter page hyping up Austin Watkins putting on a show when he only caught 2 passes. Hey,
sometimes that's all you need, though, man. That's all you need. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's all you need.
One of those passes was for a touchdown, and you got to imagine him making a splash like that in the preseason only sets him up for success if he takes it. It sets him up for success in the regular season. Andy said Zach Wilson.
Yeah. I mean,
ball him up.
Let's be honest though. If you are New York, aren't you trying? why the only reason to me that they would not showcase him more last night is if they're hoping to keep this dude around to learn under Rodgers for the next 2 years. Is that a possibility at all in your mind?
Possibly.
Maybe.
And the only reason why I think so is because you got to look at it. If I don't see, it's hard, man, because it's like we want to see not only both of these leagues succeed in the spring, but we want to see the NFL embrace them more. We want to see the NFL expose them more. And when I say that, pull in their players, sign these players to teams. Have these scouts really go and watch these games. Yeah, I did see the KaVontae Turpin. And that's the thing. That's the only player you really get to hear about is the hype for KaVontae Turpin. But I think these NFL scouts need to really go out there and start looking at these XFL teams and the players that are on their teams that need to go and look at these USFL teams. Hell, even the indoor football league teams. Because
that's why I tell you, man, I'm rooting for every one of these spring guys that has come in.
Yeah,
for camp.
It don't matter.
That's going to get the NFL looking. If these dudes make the teams, man, if they show out. And teams are like, okay, you know what? Let's put this man on the practice squad, bring him in during the year, or let's put him on the 53. That's going to make more NFL teams say, all right, next year when XFL begins, there's going to be more eyes watching from the NFL teams.
But, Pat, you're probably right. They did really only showcase more so about KaVontae Turpin and not any other players that were drafted from the USFL or not drafted, but picked up from the USFL. And when it comes down to, who got showcased the most, you're right. It was KaVontae Turpin. But he's the only one that really did a lot. And I think that's
he made a
why.
Pro Bowl.
Right. He was the only person to make a Pro Bowl. And you're right. They should have been. There should have definitely been some type of graphics for these players making their debuts coming from the USFL, just showing that the USFL is getting recognized for, actually looking at these USFL or the NFL is getting, the NFL is recognizing the USFL's talent. And you're right. They should have had some type of graphic about these players making their debut, getting signed to an NFL team, making a camp, whatever the case may have been, because it would have gave them more exposure. You're right. He did have over 100 all-purpose yards throughout the season, but that's not breakout. He didn't make the Pro Bowl.
Now, let me ask y'all something, though. We're talking about this. What we don't know too what the details of any type of exposure in the contract that Fox is obligated to in terms of USFL. I understand they own them. I understand it's within their interest, but in the end, it's still two different entities, one working for the other, if you feel me. I mean, if that makes any sense, even though they own them. So I don't know what kind of marketing contract there is between the USFL brand and Fox as a whole.
Right. You said the NFL isn't going to recognize those leagues. It's up to the broadcasters to do that. And Flame, you're right. Yep. You're absolutely right. But
there's a lot of stuff they can't they're not to say too, though. There's a lot of stuff
the
they
NFL
don't
could
talk about.
Exactly. The NFL impacts that. That's why they don't. If the NFL were to sit here and say, okay, make sure you speak on the USFL players and where they came from. Make sure you speak on the XFL players and what team they came from and things like that. And they did actually mention in the game, they actually mentioned when Austin Watkins scored his touchdown, they actually mentioned that he played in the USFL and the CFL. You know what I mean? They actually spoke on it, but there was no graphic showing, anything when he came into the game. There was nothing showing his stats from the USFL, Birmingham Stallions team last year. Championship team.
Now let me ask you something, Jersey. Let me ask you something, Jersey. Do you think, I know that's the NFL effect. That's them saying no. Do you think that has anything to do with the fact that the NFL's got a small partnership with the XFL? And so they're saying, you know what? You will not hype up the USFL on one of our broadcasts.
Exactly. I think that's exactly what it is. I think that's exactly what it is. The NFL has a agreement with the XFL when it comes to rules and development of the NFL as a league. So I think they're going to promote more of the XFL players than the USFL players. You know what I mean? And I totally agree with that 100%.
And as for being the Hall of Fame game, let's just be honest. The NFL is an attention whore. So they're like, you know what? This is our first preseason game. This is our introduction to the 2023 season. So it's going to be all about us and nobody else. Because that's what the NFL does. That's what they do.
You're exactly right. That's just how the NFL is, man. And I just think that, they're going to stay the juggernaut. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
They're going to stay the juggernaut. But when it comes to spring, we know that the XFL and the USFL are going to be successful. The XFL more so, in my opinion, than the USFL, unless the USFL gets their things together. They got to get off this hub crap, man. This hub thing is just killing them. They get out of the hub. And I think the USFL has a real shot at, making a true comeback and being successful like they were in the 80s. And of course, we know the XFL is going to be successful. There's no doubt about it. I think the fans more so are going to make the XFL more successful than the USFL than anything, unless the USFL gets their act together and get rid of that hub system.
Yeah, you need those fans, man. Saying. You need those fans if you're going to survive in the long term. Definitely need those fans. That fan support's big, especially at a live game.
Yeah. Definitely. Now, I've been looking for the results of this IFL Indoor Football League to XFL Combine. It was held yesterday. I didn't even realize it was out here in Las Vegas. I've been so damn busy. Didn't even pay attention to it. I wanted to go to it actually. If I would have known it was out here, I would have actually attended it and, try to get some footage and things like that. But I'm not even sure if the results are even posted like the XFL Combine's results. You know what I mean? Because I don't see anything on XFL.com as of right now in the news about the Combine itself, about the IFL to XFL Combine. And I don't know where the hell to look aside from probably
I don't find hub. Nothing. All I'm finding is the announcement of it back in early July. That's all I'm seeing, though. That's all I'm seeing. I mean, even you go to their website, and I see nothing on the Combine. You would figure that would be the headline on the website.
And that's my thing, too. You would think it would be held, or, something will be said. Let's see if we can get some results from the XFL board. And see, guys, I try and find as much information on this stuff because we need to know what players are coming into the league, man. Possibly. And, yep, it was actually held in Henderson at the Dollar Loan Center. Wow. Or no, it wasn't held at the Dollar Loan Center. I don't even know where it was held at. See, they don't even have no information on where it was held.
Yeah, maybe the damn thing was postponed or something, man. You don't.
It was held yesterday.
So
because the championship game is being held today. Yeah, the championship game is being held today, and the actual IFL National Championship game is going to be broadcast on CBS Sports today, August 5th, 2023. So they held the Combine yesterday. They held the Combine yesterday on the 4th as part of the Dollar Loan Center Indoor Football League National Championship weekend. But it's not saying where the actual Combine was held. Let's see if I look up results. None. Yeah, there's no actual results up here at all. So Sorry, guys, wasn't able to find anything. My main thing for looking it up is wanting to see, because there were some standout players in the IFL this league or this year. I was paying attention to it. There was some standout players in the IFL, and I already know if they went to the combine, they're going to get looked at. They're definitely going to get looked at. So I was just interested in seeing, the names of some of the players that were going to, actually participating in the combine. But I think they're going to get it together for next year. I think they're going to have the combine set up a lot better. They're going to actually I think they're going to do it to where they have these players' stories. You know what I mean? They have these players' names and information up there for us. So that way, us as fans, when we're watching these different combines, we know these players and where they come from. You get what I mean? We know what we're getting into when it comes to these players, basically.
There you go.
Now, do you think that this combine should have been televised?
See, the problem is, was there enough interest to televise it, to put in the money, that would have to go in to pull any sponsorship enough to air it, to justify televising it? I don't know if the interest would have been enough for them to get the eyes. But in today's day and age, I think things like this, combines like this, there should always be a streaming option. Should always be a streaming option online.
Yeah. Rig Rockers is in the building. What's going on, brother? Super fan for the Houston Roughnecks.
What is up, Rig? I apologize to you on behalf of my Arlington Renegades for what we had to do to y'all in the playoffs, baby. I'm just saying.
Slapped him around a little bit.
What's up, Rig? What's up, Rig?
What's going on, man? We're going to be having Rig Rockers on the Fan Gang Nation show on Tuesday, August 14th. So you guys be ready for that, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Roughnecks, man. They're going to be back next year, man. They're going to be a force again next season.
And I'm also going to try to have Ballhawk 1, the Viking of the St. Louis Battlehawks, on the same day. So we're trying to get that worked out and set up to have both of those guys on the Fan Gang Nation.
Ballhawks got like a cult following online, man, from fans from every fan base. It's kind of dope.
He said that first time here. That's the welcome I get. No, I'm excited to have you here, man. I'm just deep in this conversation.
It's all love, man. It's all love.
IFL Combine result, but no, this is like when I say this is a huge super fan, man. This guy has started a huge trend in the Houston area for the Houston Roughnecks. Him and his brother are the actual Rig Rockers, and when I say they have the kids falling in love with these guys and showing up to the stadium, wanting to take pictures with them, I mean, they have a huge following. And then you got the Predator couple, the husband and wife, who actually are dressed up in the Predator mask that are colored in the Houston Roughnecks colors. Like, they got some real big super fans out there in Houston, man. So we need to get some even Arlington, San Antonio. Hell, like we said, St. Louis, they all have super fans, man. And I need a damn super fan for the Vegas Vipers. So y'all need to come holler at me. Vegas Viper fans, stop playing. We need a super fan so I can bring you on the show.
It's all love, Rick. Rick, I just had to, because I mean, we lost twice to y'all last year, man. So, I had to kind of say something, man. But it's all respect, man. It is.
But that 1-2 record against Houston,
yeah. Hey, but
that
we got
one
done when it counted, though. It was when
that
it counted
one, exactly. Yeah. You got that one when it counted right at the end of the season.
Hey, but you know what, though? All respect, man. Those Roughnecks, they're going to be back again next year. They're going to be probably on top of that division again next year with Arlington. So, yeah. It's all respect, though, straight up.
We know. Now, we're not going to get into every single one of these signings because it's a lot. That's all I'm going to say. It's a hell of a lot. There is a ton of signings that have happened in the XFL and USFL lately. We're talking the XFL is now up to about 47 players.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Every day you're seeing it.
Who have been signed. Abram Smith. Well, matter of fact, we got it right here. I actually can show you guys because the XFL actually has it online. Now, we've got Abram Smith being signed to the Minnesota Vikings from the DC Defenders, all XFL running back. Yes. Matthew Sexton, slot receiver for the Vegas Vipers, got signed to the Atlanta Falcons. Mike Rose, linebacker from the Battlehawks, got signed to the Miami Dolphins. Kavion Patton got signed to the Atlanta Falcons. And look, Atlanta's been going in. You're going to see Atlanta's name a whole bunch. I'm going to just let y'all know. Atlanta's not playing. This is why I say don't sleep on Atlanta. Atlanta, their name's going to be on this list. Kavion Patton, defensive lineman, is going to Atlanta. McCall Manette, offensive lineman, going to Atlanta. Look, and they're from Orlando and Seattle. Matthew Guttell from the Brahmas going to Atlanta. Liam Ryan from DC is going to Seattle, offensive lineman. Rig, your boy Michael Bandy's going to the Denver Broncos. Houston Roughnecks wide receiver. My guy John Lovett. Hey Andy, you got yourself a Vegas Viper coming to the Squealers. Your boy Reed Sinnott got signed to the Cincinnati Bengals from the Brahmas. Kevin Atkins, the big boy O-lineman from the Battlehawks, got signed to the New York Giants. And, I mean, the list just goes on. Look at this list. Look at this list.
It's been crazy, man. It's been
and the
crazy.
Atlanta Falcons, look what I'm telling you. 1, 2, 3. Let's just keep going. I'm going to just look at all the Atlanta Falcons real quick. That's 3 so far. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 players from the XFL that Atlanta has brought on to their team and signed.
That's just one team from the NFL too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
look, the Giants have signed a couple players. Darren Evans, defensive back from the Arlington Renegades.
Yeah. Man.
You know what I mean?
And now just keep in mind, y'all, a lot of these dudes right now are being brought in as camp bodies, but that don't mean that it isn't big, because all it takes is impressing them as a camp body to get your spot on the squad or an injury.
Exactly.
I mean, an injury is another reason, you know, that's the unfortunate side of it, but these dudes got their foot in the door. That's the point. Now, a lot of these guys, that doesn't mean you won't see them back on their XFL squads next year, because some of these guys may get pushed down to practice squad, and they'll be back.
Atlanta
in the
needs all the help he can get.
Yeah.
Atlanta does need all the help they can get. Yes, sir. Kavion is an all XFL defensive tackle going to Atlanta. That's what I'm saying. They are picking up a lot of talent. So we can't sleep on any of these. Like Rig Rocker said, don't sleep on any of these guys. We can't.
But how many of these guys? How many of these guys with that many signed, besides what they've got on the roster now? Say Atlanta. How many of these XFL guys will be there though? Week 1, preseason. Exactly. That's, you know, because and that's because roster cuts. You know, you bring it down to the 72 and then the 53 man. But they got a chance, man. And I think there's more than a few of these guys that can show out enough to at least, if not get a practice squad nod. 53 man on some of these squads, man. Straight up, like he said, Atlanta need all the help they can get. That's right, because there's no depth in Atlanta. As good as that O-line is and all that, there's no depth. So that's where these dudes from the XFL, man, they got to shine.
So the head coach Campbell from Detroit complimented the USFL and the XFL. He damn sure did. He damn sure did. And he made it a point for it to be said. You know what I mean?
I like Campbell, man. I like really the whole culture he's bringing into Detroit.
Yeah,
I like
that. Detroit just sold out season tickets. They're sold out.
Yeah, I like what he's doing there,
for
man.
the first time in a long time.
That guy's brought excitement back to that area for football, and it's good to see, man. I love the culture he's bringing there.
But yeah, this list goes it's deep. Kobe Smith from Arlington, or from the Brahmas, New York Giants. Chris Blair from DC Falcons. Brandon Smith from DC Cardinals.
Darius
Marcel
Shepard.
Aitman.
Damn.
Yeah, Darius Shepard and Marcel Aitman both get signed from the Battlehawks. Aitman's going to Buffalo. Darius Shepard's going to Los Angeles.
And they've already lost Bryant. You know, Bryant was one of the first guys signed, man. So to the NFL. So that
exactly.
Damn, if they
Brandon
lose
Dillon going to the Commanders, tight end from the Vipers. Lucky Jackson going to Minnesota. He's joining Abram Smith. He's you know, they were on the same team in DC. Now he's going with them to Minnesota. Another DC defender going to Washington. Farrad Gardner. Elise Mack from the Brahmas going to Tennessee. You know what I mean? Tight end. Willie Taylor going to Jacksonville from the Renegades. Daniel Whelan going to Green Bay from DC. Charleston Rambo going to Philly. Join Jalen Hurts from the Guardians. Like,
man,
just
Hakeem
imagine.
Butler. Hakeem Butler. You look at what the Steelers. We talked about the Steelers with
he's been looking so impressive
with Robinson, you know, and the Steelers, what they got. Oh, Butler was one of the most exciting players in the XFL this year, man.
Yeah. And you said Blair's on the IR after clearing waivers in Atlanta. Okay, but he's still signed. I'm just saying. Look, Jacquez Patrick, running back from the Brahmas, going to Denver. Luke Barco, cornerback from the Brahmas, going to the Steelers. Like we were just talking about, Hakeem Butler, wide receiver from the Battlehawks, going to the Steelers. Jair Jones-Smith, tackle from the Battlehawks, going to the Commanders. Like, they are not playing, man. Look at all these. Look, Ben DiNucci, we already know, signed with Denver and actually made the QB depth chart. He's QB3 right now.
Man. Much respect to DiNucci, man. I hated on him beginning of that XFL season, but he made me a believer by the end, man.
Hey, you're right. You're right. Ridge Rocker says our guys have the heart to take those spots, and you're right. You're right.
Yeah, they got that hunger.
Houston's going to be fine. Houston's going to be fine next season. Houston's going to bounce back.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tight race between Houston, San Antonio, and Arlington. But I think Arlington's going to be the team to beat in the South just because of the defending champs. They're the team to beat in the league.
Still going to have that defense, man. That defense, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we got to come on now.
Boys playing.
Houston is going to be that team. Houston is going to be that team. Okay? I'm just saying. Houston is going to be that team.
That's good. That Arlington Houston
Arlington's
rivalry
going into the season as a favorite.
It's going to be a fun rivalry.
Exactly. Yeah, that rivalry is going to start, and it's going to be Arlington. And I think there's going to be a trio rivalry, because San Antonio, don't sleep on San Antonio next season, man. Yeah. Don't sleep on San Antonio. I think they're going to make some adjustments.
Seattle and St. Louis, man. Seattle and St. Louis.
Seattle's done.
Fun one too.
Get a quarterback.
You think so? Without the quarterback? I think they'll be all right. I think they're going to be all right. Hell, if they made DiNucci into a star, come on now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, DiNucci made himself into a star.
He did, man. He did. He was good this year, man. He was.
Yeah, Deion Kane from the USFL got signed as well.
Hey, did you see the one that the recent one? Did you see the recent one with Miami, man? They just signed Mark Gilbert from the Maulers. That's big, man. Especially that's the Ramsey effect. Again, you know, because that freed up a roster spot in the depth, man. And this dude's got a good opportunity to earn himself a spot on that 53. He's good enough. We all saw that. He is.
He really is. And I may possibly be having Joshua Simmons, the special teams player of the year from the USFL, on the Gridiron soon. So guys, get ready. And I'll be having Kevin Thurman, defensive lineman from my New Jersey Generals, coming on to the show soon as well. I'll keep you guys, you know, up to date when everything's going to be happening. But yeah, there's been a lot of signings for the USFL as well. And I don't know if they have the results up. Let's see if the USFL has all the signings up on their website, because I don't really know, man. For when I go on to here and I go and look at the news, they don't really have much, you know, when it comes to the news, like with their players. Like, they're not talking about, you know, all of the team news for players getting signed, like they literally only have the signing of Magoo. That's it.
That's the big one. That's the big one.
Marlon Williams got signed. Bobby Holly got signed. I mean, there's a lot of players that got workouts. Kayava Dezino from the Maulers got a workout with the New York Giants. And so did Mark Thompson, but he hasn't been signed anywhere yet, I don't believe. Gamblers tied in. Josh Peterson signed with his dad, Doug Peterson's team in Jacksonville. Brandon Aubrey signed with the Cowboys from the USFL. Brandon Aubrey he's the kicker for the Birmingham Stallions. He signed with the Dallas Cowboys.
You know what? I'm really, speaking of kickers, man, I'm really surprised that I have not seen more kickers getting signed. Has Aguilar still, has anybody?
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Nobody's looked at Luis Aguilar.
I can't believe that, man. Like that dude, what is nailing 66-yard kicks this year? You know, I was actually hoping Dallas.
I don't rubberneck for Gucci Danucci. Don't be hating on me. He said I'd be rubbernecking for Ganucci. Look, he called him Ganucci.
Ganucci.
It's Gucci Danucci, baby. Get it right.
Gucci, man. I still
and
don't
he said
know
Mahler's going to miss Gilbert if he makes the 53-man roster. You damn right. Oh, yeah. That is another guy I want you guys to look out for this year coming to the XFL. He's going to be in the XFL draft, the participants and NFL rights draft for the XFL. The rights, the player rights and combine participants draft that's coming up in October. Lacoby Tucker is going to be there. Man, he is a beast. This boy is huge, and he's got a fucking set of wheels on him for a big boy. Man, he said change that damn battery. What battery?
Oh, he heard it too. Yeah.
Yeah, Lacoby is a man beast, bro, and I'm excited to see what team he gets picked up on. You're a Renegades fan, so you would love to have some type of man beast on your offensive line, such as a guy as Lacoby Tucker. So you definitely want to reach out to Lacoby.
Especially the Renegades, man. They've already had that very good offensive line they had this year. Some of those guys are in camp now in the NFL. So I don't know how many of them are coming back. So I'm looking like Stoops, man. You better have a backup plan for that offensive line because Luis Betta's going to need that line.
Yeah, and somebody like Lacoby Tucker will be a great addition to put in front of Luis Perez to help block for him, man. He would be a monster. He's great off the line. He has a lot of power. He has good speed off the line. He's able to go left to right with no problem. You know what I mean? He's able to pull and go out there and run block. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. You said he wanted to come to Houston. No, they want him in St. Louis. That Gabe, you're going to want him in Arlington.
Oh yeah,
Rig Rockers, and then want him in Houston. I want him in Vegas. I mean, it's just come on now. Another player you guys want to look out for is Jeremiah Spicer, linebacker. He's definitely a beast as well. Joshua Flowers, defensive back. He's a beast. There's so many players, man. Calais Robertson. I mean, we could go on.
There's so much talent out there, man, that never gets discovered because the NFL was the only entity doing anything, and there's only so many spots. And I think now the USFL and XFL we're gonna be seeing a lot of these dudes come up now because now there's a new pool, man. We got a new outlet to catch these guys. It's not just the NFL. We're gonna start seeing some of this talent, man, because there's so much undiscovered talent out there, man. Straight up.
Yeah, there is. There's so much talent out there, and they're not getting seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not getting recognized, so they have to do everything they can to get recognized. And getting signed by an NFL team from a spring league roster, you've done your job, man. What I mean? You've done your damn job. Before we get into some college football talk, because we got a lot of college football to talk about too. I wanted to get actually into some fan mail for today, and you know what time it is, guys. Oh my goodness, what happened? Okay.
You're right over there, bro.
Technical difficulties, y'all.
All I hear is your voice saying, "Oh man, what happened?"
All right, we got some mail time from Hit. Hit asks, would you like to see college players who with NFL dreams try to pursue the XFL first? Gabe, go ahead.
Whoa. As much as I'd say I would like to, it just won't. Because if you have NFL dreams, that's your priority. Now, some of these guys, they may have no choice, obviously, but I think what Hit's asking is if we'd like to see them by choice take the XFL route. And I think it depends on the caliber of player they are coming out of college. If they're realists, they've got the people around them, the right people around them trying to explain to them, look, you're likely not going to get drafted, so you need to decide what you want to do. Then the XFL becomes a legit option. So I think while we will see it in that sense, I just don't see guys that have the NFL outlook making the XFL the priority above the NFL once they're coming out of college, unless it's one of those situations where they're like, okay, I don't think I'm going to get drafted. So now I can turn to the XFL before, that's the only way I see it, to be honest.
Gotcha. Rig Rockers answered the question saying if they got what it takes to get to the NFL, they need to take that step. All right. Me personally, I agree with both. I feel that if they have the talent to get drafted, go for the NFL draft. Because if you don't make the cut, you can still get picked up by an XFL roster. So at the end of the day, if the NFL is your goal and you have what it takes to get drafted, take that chance.
Yeah.
Go for that goal. But let's be realistic as well. If you have that supporting cast of family members around you who keep it real with you and say, hey, no, right now the NFL draft isn't the way to go. Go to these XFL showcases. You know what I mean? Go to these USFL tryouts and try and get signed with a spring league and then get picked up through the NFL that way. And I feel that if these players have that type of, surrounding around them, those voices around them, they would make the plausible decision of, okay, I know I ain't getting drafted in any of the first 7 rounds or any of the 7 rounds. So I'm going to go ahead and just take my chances with the XFL, the USFL, and then go and get signed to a team from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And to be honest, if this ever were to happen where players would start eyeing the XFL first, it's going to be way down the line because it's going to be when the XFL is noticed by everybody.
Yep.
Hit
says he gets what we're saying. It was just meaning as a gateway. And you're right. No, it could be used as a gateway too.
Yeah.
Some players may use it as a gateway. You know what I mean? They may actually use it as a gateway to get to the NFL, and that's what we were saying for those players who know that they're not going to make it to the draft. They're not going to get drafted in those 7 rounds of the NFL draft. They know it. You know what I mean? They're going to use the XFL or the USFL as a gateway to, make it to the XFL the NFL or get noticed by the NFL that way.
And let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. A lot of these guys, they don't peak in college, which is why they don't go high in the draft. But then that's why you see guys that come in later, like Mr. Irrelevant from last year, all these guys that they begin to peak in the NFL. And that's when you see those late rounders and undrafted free agents shine because they didn't peak in college. And a lot of these dudes, they may not get drafted. So they're going to have the opportunity, to go to the XFL, the USFL to refine their game, find their peak. And then guess what? That's when the NFL says, all right, now we're ready for you.
Exactly. His second question is, what is your major goal for football in general with these leagues outside of the NFL?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
That is a good question. What are your goals, Gabe?
See, I was
on
thinking about this a while ago. We were talking about stuff when we got into the spring football thing, and I gotta be honest, man. Like the success of spring football, while it may not directly help the NFL in terms of the fans, because the NFL doesn't need more fans; they're already big enough as it is. But what it will do is football as a whole, like you're asking, Hit, is I think it's just gonna kind of rejuvenate an interest among youth and everybody. If you've got more football in the spring, let's say these leagues like the XFL and the USFL, they start to pick up more momentum going into next year, which I think the XFL will. If the USFL can too. You start seeing football in the spring. People are starting to notice it all over social media. You know, if that happens, then interest to football as a whole, it's kind of a rebirth just after the Super Bowl. And then you've got interest all year round. And all that does is help the sport. It's going to bring more recognition, but that with that also it brings more scrutiny. So it could have a long-term effect in terms of the youth effect and you know, things with CTE and stuff like that down the line. But I think what it will do ultimately, if these leagues outside the NFL are successful, and the more successful they become, it's just going to rejuvenate football as a whole, you know, from the minute these kids get into elementary school all the way up to high school. And in the long run, I mean, that's just more talent coming out, to be honest.
Most definitely, bro. I definitely agree. For me, I want both leagues to succeed as far as the spring leagues go. I feel that if we can get both leagues to be on somewhat of a similar plateau, we're not going to say the same plateau because it probably will never ever be, unless the NFL screws themselves over, and which will be hard for them to do with how much people love the NFL. But if these spring leagues could bring their success level to a certain plateau, and they can reach a certain plateau with popularity, fans, fan engagement, fan attendance, fan support, league support, just the league structure, everything. If both of these leagues can get structured properly to where they're set up for success for the next 10 years, that's the goal. That way the NFL knows, okay, we don't have to just look at college for talent. We know that there's talent in these other leagues. We know that these college kids who aren't ready coming out of college are going to be going to the XFL and the USFL and the CFL and the IFL and all these other leagues, trying to get their skills up to par and get noticed that way. So I feel the goal should be all these leagues try to hope for success for all of them, and hell, help them all. Why compete? We were just talking about this earlier, Gabe, before we got on, about what Matt said. Why compete when you can collaborate?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think that should be a goal of all these different sports or football leagues.
And, you know, to put it in a nutshell from my end, when he says what's the major goal, if I'm going to put it very simply for me, outside of the NFL, what's the major goal for football is to really just establish a wider pool for talent all over the place, because then the interest is there for everybody. So I think the ultimate goal is just to widen the talent pool. That's the way I see it.
True. Very true. Hit says, I feel you guys. I feel you. These spring leagues will draw in more fans who love the sport, not just the actual teams. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's the goal. You want fans to come in and watch the sport and the brand of your league, what your league has to offer that may be different from the NFL. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that both brands need to work on. And I think that's what the USFL the XFL is trying to act now during the off season. They're really working on their marketing. They're really working on branding the league and, you know, branding these teams in the local markets. So they're doing somewhat of a good job. There's a lot more work to do, but they're actually doing their job. What's your next question? Next question is, sorry guys. Do you think XFL coaches or just coaches in general need to think more outside of the box? To be honest, yes. I really do. I think that these coaches need to be more different in their play schemes. They need to, take more risks sometimes, as far as certain play calls and certain like lineups, the way they're certain how certain plays are ran, how certain plays are lined up and where the players are positioned in the actual lineup before the play starts, things like that. And I think that we should see a lot more, trick plays just to make the game more fun and more interesting. You know what I mean? We should see a lot more trick plays. We should see a lot more just I don't know, man, just more interesting stuff in the game, and it all starts with the coaches and their plays and their schemes and how they do everything. You know what I mean? So I honestly think it's more of a hell yeah. Because if they do so, we'll get more exciting football, bro. We'll get a lot more exciting football, and it will be a lot more interesting for the fans that lost interest in, not only these spring leagues, but some fans who've lost interest in football. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, yes, they really should. They should think about, making the game more exciting, to be honest. Like, the players do it themselves, but with the play calling, it could be done as well. It could be more exciting as well, honestly, in my opinion. So like, that's why I'm like, yeah, because I just feel that it would just make the game more exciting for the fans. Hold on, I'm looking at something. There we go. Now, does that answer your question? Now, Gabe, you're back. Okay, Gabe's back. Do you think do you think the XFL coaches or just coaches in general need to think more outside of the box?
Well, that depends. Like, what's the context to that in terms of game planning, systems? Is that what we're looking at? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so now what would that imply though? Because you've got
more trick plays.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've got your college type game. Yeah, you've got your college type game where you see a lot of just straight up options, things like that. And then you've got the NFL game, which is geared more towards a lot of high flying, passing. Is that what we're looking at? Trick plays, though. I mean, we saw a lot of that in the XFL this year, to be honest. There's a lot, and I think the XFL rules invite that. They're asking coaches, get creative. They're asking. So, yeah, definitely they need to think outside the box more, because you know why? That's going to make it a different option. That's going to make it a product that people are like, okay, yeah, the USFL and NFL are great. You know what? Mainly USFL. It's a lot like the NFL with its rules and its presentation. But then we got the XFL over here that's just damn near exciting because it's so unpredictable.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So they definitely need to think outside the box in the XFL, especially because the rules are inviting it.
Like Rick Rucker says, like Kirkland on the double forward pass, it only happened one time last year. Right. Now, if it would have happened a lot more times, you know what I mean?
Yes. I remember when I first saw that. Dude, when I watched it and I first saw it, I was standing up. I was like, oh my God, y'all just pulled that shit out. And it was exciting, man. Yes. All I can say is yes. Think outside the box in terms of the XFL, because like, nobody else is doing it like y'all are doing.
Fake punts, fake field goals. I'd love to see more of that, especially like in the NFL and stuff. You know what I mean? You're punting on 4th and 1, knowing damn well you could run a fake punt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the NFL doesn't do the excitement as they did before. You know, like back in the 90s, man, back in the early 2000s, bro, we used to get the excitement because it's like, oh, especially like when we're throwing laterals across the field. You know what I mean?
But I mean, you remember when the greatest show on turf was out there with Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk and those boys. I mean, that ball was just going everywhere. You never knew who was going to throw the ball. You never knew who was going to catch the ball. It was insane.
You never knew he was going to run a ball.
Yeah, it was exciting, man.
They would send Torrey on that end around all the time. Or you'll get an end around from Torrey one way, and then he'll give it back to Isaac going.
And then you got Marshall Faulk. Then you got Marshall Faulk catching the ball 35 yards downfield, man.
Right, you know what I mean. So it was just like Rick says, it's too much talent to be conservative nowadays.
Yeah,
so
man,
yes, you definitely have to start thinking outside the box and start being more exciting with your play calls, exciting with your formations. That's the word I was trying to think of. Hit formations, like their formations. They need to be more exciting with their formations, more diverse. Give us different things to look at, while we're watching these games. You know what I'm saying? Give us something to talk about. Let's put it that way.
Become unpredictable.
Hey, did you see that? Did you see that play that they did? Man, you see how they was lined up? You see this? You see that? Like, make us have something to talk about in these games.
Unpredictability and lack of what to expect when you're watching the game, it brings more excitement because then you have that moment where you're sitting there 1 second and the next second you're like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? They just did that.
Did you just see that?
Yeah, I did that a lot with the XFL this year, to be honest, man.
Exactly, really keep everyone guessing, including us fans. Yeah, because you even got the broadcasters who are like, the way they even broadcast what they just see. You know what I mean?
How many times you seen the XFL the cameras get tricked this year? It happened at times, but they need to do it more. Do it more.
And even with the broadcasters, man, they need to get a little bit like the NFL broadcasters. They need to be a little bit more exciting. I'm sorry. Even the USFL broadcasters. The XFL has the best broadcasters right now. My man John was calling, I forgot John's last name, but he was calling the St. Louis Battlehawks game. And AJ McCarron threw a touchdown. He's like, "There's a touchdown! Caw-caw! I'm like, did this broadcaster just do that on national TV? But it got me more excited, and it kept me wanting to watch the game even more, because now it's like, okay, what the hell is the commentator going to say now?
Well, and why do you think Tony Romo does so good? Because when he's watching it, he's responding like a fan. You're hearing his excitement, like, oh my God, look at the way they're set up. He's about to nail it. And you can feel his excitement, man. And that's what you're talking about with the XFL, the announcers. It's almost like fans are watching the game with you. I love to see that emotion come out from the announcers, man. I love that because it feeds off to us at home. So I definitely feel you on that one. Definitely.
Get rid of Collinsworth.
Oh, man. Now here's a guy. That's all I ever hear, man. Now here's a guy. What, Chris?
Yeah.
What?
Here's a guy that if you here's a guy that if you give him the ball, here's a guy that
now we're talking about Aaron Rodgers. Here's a guy.
Here's a guy.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that. You know what's coming too. You're like, how many times? That's why there's memes everywhere about muting the damn TV when that dude is talking.
Oh man, just like this past preseason game. Oh my God.
Madness, bro.
John Madden. Here's a guy. I was like, you know what? You're so disrespectful. I'm like, man, are you serious? This guy with this here's a guy crap, man. I can't. But that's gonna do it for mail time today. Like always, my boy hitting us with that good old. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Now, we've had a lot of college football news. I want to do this transition nicely, guys. A lot of college football news, and before I even get into the big college football news, I want to start off with something that's being overlooked.
Yeah, man. There's just not enough of this being talked about. I'm gonna tell you that much.
And now it's up to 7, guys. Hold on, I'm gonna show you
7?
right now. Yeah, we're gonna.
Because
I'm gonna
what was
pull
it? A
up.
few days ago, we had 4.
Yep, and one of them being the starting quarterback,
Yeah,
Deckers. This
you're
guy,
right.
Hunter
It is
Deckers, and it's up to 7 now. 7 players charged in the Iowa State gambling scandal. Now it says here, gambling investigations at Iowa and Iowa State. Oh wow. Have now resulted in criminal charges filed against 7 current or former athletes, with ex-Hawkeyes basketball player Aaron Eulis and Cyclones quarterback Hunter Decker, the ones with the highest profiles. Wow. Wow. Each is accused in the complaints of tampering with the records related to an Iowa Criminal Division investigation into sports gambling. Current athletes also could face the loss of eligibility for violating NCAA gambling rules. Decker was charged in Story County, as were ISU football player Dodge Sauser, ISU wrestler Panero Johnson, and former football player Iyoma
Uwazurike.
Yeah, okay. Who was drafted by the Denver Broncos in 2022 and suspended indefinitely by the NFL last month for betting on games during his rookie season. So this idiot went into the NFL betting. Wow. I'm sorry. You're an idiot. You're a complete idiot for that.
If I'm correct in looking at the wrestler Johnson, his bets totaling over 45,000 overall, man. Over 1,200 bets. Like, these dudes been doing this for a while. That's crazy.
And Deckers is trying to plead not guilty.
Man, now these dudes, I guess they kind of made up these fake names, tried to place bets under fake names.
Yeah,
that's amateurish, man. You get somebody else to put down that bet for you.
That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
You know that happens. You know,
it's terrible, man. It's terrible. Let's take a look at this video real quick, because it's like, come on, you're ruining your career before you even get a chance to look at the NFL.
Absolutely.
Oh, I hate when they do this crap. Play the stupid ads. But it's like you're ruining your career before you even get your career started. You know what I mean? You had an opportunity to be looked at as a possible draft pick.
Hunter Deckers has been accused of betting on events involving the Cyclones, including a 2021 football game that he did not play in. Deckers allegedly placed 366 bets, totaling nearly $2,800 on DraftKings while under the legal betting age of 21. He's also accused of tampering with the investigation. His attorney says the quarterback will plead not guilty. Deckers started all 12 games last season and was the projected starter entering camp, but he plans to step away from the football team.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have a choice. You ain't going to have a choice but to step away from the football team.
Bro,
plans to step away. Projected starter? Are you kidding me?
Can we say idiot?
He plans to step away. Yeah, because he knows his ass about to lose his scholarship.
Exactly.
And that's going to be the least of his problems.
Like, come on now.
Damn.
Come on now. Come on now. What are you thinking?
No pun intended, but how are you going to gamble with your future career like that? You know?
You're right. They need to have a better eye on these guys, and they can talk to these college kids. They need to do something, man. They need to do something, because that's just ridiculous. And now we're looking at even Iowa now. They're talking about even Iowa's involved.
That's big.
Like, come on.
That is big. You're talking big time college football programs.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
This is a black eye. That's an understatement.
Iowa being in the Big Ten and Iowa State being in the Big 12, which we got a lot of Big 12 news, or we got some huge Big 12 news, I should say, and Big 10 news. But it's just, they're ruining the chances that they have, or they're going to have. You know what I mean?
Well, and you know what? Now, what's going to happen with a lot of these programs? A lot of these
Sorry
teams
about that.
now are going to have to figure out a way now to make it mandatory that these recruits coming in on scholarship, they're going to have a class or something for these guys that's going to, when it comes to gambling, things like that. Because I know a lot of these programs have that, but it's voluntary. Well, guess what? Now you're going to have to make it mandatory. Take it. Yeah, mandatory.
Yeah,
mandatory.
Like they said, like Rick said, it's going to happen, but they need to police it harder. My thing is this: you get caught gambling, you lose your scholarship. Go home. Period. That's how I feel. Yeah. But we said yes. We both said yes, that the coaches should definitely start thinking outside of the box. But yeah, I feel like if these kids get in trouble for gambling or get caught gambling and they're dumb enough to do it, send them home. No more scholarship. You're done. Period. Yeah. It's if you want to take that chance to do it, this is the consequence. You're going to get the strictest consequence possible. You know what I mean?
And what's going to happen now with these schools, whether they knew about it or not, guess what? They're going to lose scholarships because of this. There's going to be sanctions, man. And it's going to be because, like you said, though, it may be a lot of people are talking about it, but not enough. Like, this is a really big deal, man. People aren't realizing it. It's a really big deal.
Rick Rocker says, and pay back the part you was able to use of the scholarship. Ooh, you make those kids pay it back. Oh, my goodness. They'd ruin their lives. They'd ruin their lives. They ruin their future in any way, shape, or form, man.
Conditions of a scholarship could require that if this kind of thing could actually make them add stuff like that to a scholarship.
Yep. I think every school's gonna start doing it. Yeah. Because it's starting to get out of hand.
It's like, dog, you were gonna be our starting quarterback. And now we gotta let you go.
Yep.
It's like you were gonna be a man. I see things like this, man, and you're like what even made these dudes think that they were not gonna get caught on this, man? Like they policed this gambling thing.
If the NFL players get caught, what makes you think you're smarter than them?
Yeah.
Come on now.
The high profile football program. Oh, there's eyes on you. There's eyes.
That's the truth, Hit. Common sense ain't common no more. And that's the damn truth. That's a sad truth, but it's the damn truth.
It's sad, but it's true.
You know what I mean? And it's bad, bro. And if these kids are dumb enough to think that NFL players got caught, they're probably not thinking like we're thinking. We're not going to get caught. Come on, it's Hunter Decker. You were the starting quarterback for Iowa State last year, bro. You were the starting quarterback the whole season.
These newer generations got this invincibility thing on them, man, like inferiority that they think that we're not going to get caught. We've got these guys growing up, they were part of that whole generation that was kind of handed everything, the trophy, the spot on the team, even though, stuff like that. So they've got this in their mind that it's all right, though, because if something happens, guess what? I'm the starting quarterback. They're going to just brush it under the rug. No, they're not.
Exactly.
No, they're not.
An example is going to be made out of
that's right,
Mr. Starting Quarterback.
Right. You're going to be starting no more. We may be seeing him in the XFL sooner than we did. You know what I'm saying? IFL's got some new talent coming their way.
Hunter Decker.
Damn, man.
Former Iowa State University idiot. I'm just saying, you got to be a complete idiot to be in college and have all this going for you. Being the starting quarterback for the college football team that's in a good conference. You're in a Power 5 conference type of deal. You know what I mean? And speaking of, we're even going to get off the subject of these idiots, but speaking of that conference that he's in, the Big 12, Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado are all leaving the Pac-12 and joining the Big 12 in 2024. This is huge.
4 teams left. That's all they got out west now. 4 teams.
This is huge, y'all. Man. Because now, let me tell you guys how many teams are now in the Big 12 next season. Not this upcoming season, but next season. You got Arizona, Arizona State, Baylor, BYU, Central Florida, Cincinnati, Colorado, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas Tech, Utah, and West Virginia. Bro, the only two teams that have left is Oklahoma and Texas. But they're up to like 18 teams now. 16 to 18 teams, bro.
This is going to destroy the current format of college football.
Yep.
Completely.
It's going to kill it. And the reason why we say that is because of this. Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC are all joining the Big Ten in 2024. And that's going to take the Big Ten up to 2014 or up to 18 teams for sure.
That's insane, man. Come on.
That's
like,
crazy.
And now that leaves the Pac-12 right now with what, 4 teams that even stay there? I mean, what's going to happen? Are they going to pull some of these, maybe merge with the WAC or something like that?
Bro, they're going to have to pull some mid-majors.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
They're going to have to allow them schools that are associated with them, with the Pac-12, actually be a part of the Pac-12 and now join that power conference to compete on that level. Their whole schedule is going to change. The teams that they play are going to change, but the Pac-12 got to do something, or it's going to be back down to the Big Four.
You look at USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington. And those are the four cornerstone programs of the Pac-12. Now, what are you going to do? I don't know. Exactly. Did they survive this? Do they survive this, Jersey? What do you think, man? I mean, I think, like you're saying, those smaller conferences, that's going to be the only way to go.
I don't think they're going to survive, which brings me to this. I think there's going to be a future of super conferences in college football.
We could be seeing a whole dynamic change of where college football is going to be split in two at the Division I level. Where you're going to see, like you said, you're going to have a season with nothing but the super conferences doing their own thing for their own championship. And then you're going to have everybody else in Division I football competing for a different championship. That's where this looks like this is going to head in the next 10 years to me.
Because you got to look at it right now, the SEC, the Big Ten, now the Big 12, and even the ACC is starting to fall apart. Because Florida State's about to leave. Florida State's about to leave the ACC. I mean, come on now.
See, the problem here, and we talked about this, me and you did off camera, was about, when we compared what college basketball, why they've been able to market the mid-majors in college basketball is because of the fact that at the end, because of the big tournament, everybody has a chance. Everybody's got a shot, even the little guy. College football, it doesn't work that way. You've got your elite teams, and then everybody else, and those elite teams are the ones year in and year out that are going to be vying for that championship. And then what does that leave? Everybody else, man. What does that leave the BYUs? What does that leave the Utahs? You know what I'm saying? The San Diego States.
See, BYU is now in the Big 12.
Okay. Yeah,
next
season. That
was a big move for BYU. Utah's leaving. You know what I mean? That's putting them in a better position because Utah's going to be in the Big 12. That's why West Virginia left. You know what I mean? That's why West Virginia left the Mountain West. You know what I mean? And went over to the Big 12 because I should have never been in a Mountain West conference in the first place. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But with Texas leaving the Big 12, they needed to bring in some teams. You know what I mean? Texas leaving, Oklahoma leaving the Big 12. The Big 12 needed to bring in some teams. But I mean, hell, we're literally watching the Pac-12 crumble in front of our face. Yeah. We're literally watching it. Hit says, see, they should have been doing that off the bat. They were thinking ahead, not knowing something like that. This could happen now, and it's happening. Yeah, but the crazy thing is, it's not good. It's not good. because if they really sit here and make it to where you got an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference in college football, that's too much to even pay attention to.
See,
That's too much.
I think that the ACC,
yeah, college
here,
football
though,
will never be the same again.
I think the ACC. I really wonder what now that this big move has been made. I got to see how the ACC is going to respond, because you talked about Florida State, but you're still looking at Louisville, Boston College, Syracuse, Clemson. So which of these
talking
teams
about leaving too?
But will they? See, the ACC is going to have to look at this and say, okay, we got to start fighting now before we become the Pac-12. We lose our big dogs. And I mean, do they bring somebody in? I don't know. I mean, the ACC, I'm really going to be interested to see what they do in the next year right here, involving bringing other teams in or keeping what they've got right now, man. That's going to be big right there. See what's going on.
Because you got to look at it. If Florida State leaves, then the ACC may be looking at a demise, because North Carolina's talking about possibly leaving. If Florida State leaves, Clemson's talking about possibly leaving.
But where are they going to go? I mean, are these other conferences that are just growing more and more? What happens if they get up to 20 teams, 25 teams? You know what I mean? Then people are going to start being like, damn, well, now we really do have to split NCAA football in two, because it's going to be, there's not enough meat on the bone in each of these conferences now if they're growing this big. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Like, we're going to be looking at Conference USA. Like, bro, there's going to be so many, because there's like,
I agree, Rick. This is going to change college football. What's going on right now is going to change the next 10 years and probably beyond of college football, man, for the long term.
Yeah, I think the NIL does have something to do with it, to be honest. I think the NIL has a lot to do with it. The players wanting their money, but it's about the schools getting money too.
Yeah. Yeah, and all these schools bring in a lot of money as it is, man.
Except for the smaller schools, like Rick's saying here. No money in the smaller conferences, so they want to move to bigger conferences to get the bigger players. True, because you get better recruits, when you're going to these different conferences, because now they know, okay, we're in a conference where we're going to be competing. We're really going to be competing. But what you going to do in an 18-team conference
that's loaded with talent just like you?
We're talking big-name teams. Ohio State, Michigan,
with what I mean? Talent.
Adding, you got to imagine adding all these teams, Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC to the Big Ten. That's already stacked. Mm-hmm. And then now Arizona, hey, we want to compete more. Arizona State, we want to compete more. Colorado, Utah, they want to be in the fold.
You're not going to stand out in a crowded room full of elite players
at all.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to stand out when everybody that is in your conference on 17 other teams has somebody, one or two guys, either better than you or just as good as you.
He said we don't say that M word. but Rig, like you said, this is changing college football and changing the landscape of it, and it's not a good thing.
No,
because eventually those teams that could be the underdogs and surprise us, you know what I mean? Like last year, University of San Antonio deserved it. You know what I mean? They deserved to be in the top 10
at TCU
because
last
they were
year.
undefeated. They were undefeated and never got put in the top 10 conversation, but should have. Like, and that's a thing like that kills me with the way they do the rankings for the AP poll in college football, because teams that should be in a top 10, top 15 ranking are sitting here in a top 25, top 20 ranking position and not where they should be. You know, it's not fair. It's not fair at all. And I think this is going to even make it even worse. I think it's going to make it even worse by doing this, by all these conferences becoming super conferences. I think it's just going to make it for bad college football.
You know, if you've got two 18-team conferences and you've got, let's say, I don't know, 10 playoff spots to go around, how many of those teams, like you just said, that would have probably dominated one of the other conferences and gotten themselves into the bowl playoffs or into the playoff system, now are buried at the bottom of one of those super conferences. You know what I mean? And they're not even sniffing a playoff. So it's way too saturated. Like I said, there's not going to be enough meat to go on around on that bone for every one of these teams.
Because you got Oklahoma and Texas moving to the SEC. It's like there's so much, man. There's so many teams, like big name teams, that are just moving around to these different big conferences, and it's just like you're taking away the excitement away from college football. Now, don't get me wrong; it's going to be exciting to see Georgia and Texas, or Georgia and Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong.
That's what this is all about.
To see
it's all about that commercial money, man. That casual money. That's what they're doing. Let's build it up to get for these casual football fans. That's where the money comes from, viewership. And, we'll let the little guys fight it out on their own. NCAA is so damn, like, the money, it controls everything. Everything, man. No matter about the quality of it.
Yeah, man. So, we just got to sit back and wait and see, man. We got to sit back and wait and see. I asked on Facebook, how does everyone feel about, the whole Iowa State scandal and, just what's going on with college football in a whole now. And we're getting the same reactions, man. It's like, this isn't good. This isn't good for college football. Yeah, bro, they're trying to look to make McScrooge type money for these colleges. They're even I'm not even gonna laugh at this. They're really trying to make that McScrooge type money. They want all the money that they can get for these schools. You're exactly right. Ray Rocker's monopolized.
Because what's going on with this is it's all the big money schools that bring in the money coming together. Yep. And, the teams like where I'm at in Las Cruces, our local squad, which is the NMSU Aggies, New Mexico State, they just got into Conference USA. They're the teams now that are out and saying, why? Because we don't bring in enough money. That's why.
Yep. And if they were to move to a conference like the Big 12, or hell, even if New Mexico State were to move to the Pac-12, they could have had, more success in bringing in more money to the school. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. The NCAA only wants these big schools doing it because they're already established as financial powerhouses. Yep. You know what I mean? They're just trying to bring all the money, like you said, into one area, man. And it's crooked as hell, and it sucks for the football fans. It really does, man, especially for those of us that have these local teams, in our smaller markets, man. It sucks because now it's like, well, damn, how much am I going to see my team this year now?
Hey, this is the perfect saying. They all want to be on Boardwalk and Park Place and forget about the Baltic Avenues. They definitely do, man. And it's terrible. But what I think needs to happen is these smaller schools need to go and do a better job recruiting.
Yeah.
Go do a better job
recruiting. The problem is, though, the hard part of recruiting in college is getting them to want to come play for you as opposed to going to play, for Georgia. Even though they're in the conference, it's going to be a lot different because of the talent level where they can shine here at NMSU. But, hey, that money there is kind of a little more tantalizing. You've got agents saying, well, whispering in their ear saying, well, you'll get more noticed if you come over here when it comes NFL draft time. So I hear you, though. They're going to have to, these smaller schools, man, they're going to have to really up their game in terms of recruiting.
Yep.
Big time.
Because this power shift in these conferences, man, it's something that's gonna...
Jersey. I could really see a split in NCAA Division I college football, Jersey. I really can within the next 10 years because of this.
Because you're gonna have Division I, Division 1A.
Yeah, pretty
honestly,
much.
it's gonna be something like that because it's gonna be all the power conferences and then the other conferences.
Hell, like you said, bring up some of these Division II schools. We all seen Appalachian State, what they've been able to do against these Division I schools. Why not bring them up? Is it because of attendance and stuff like that? I get that. But if you're going to allow a power shift like this, you might have to start bending the rules a little bit to let some of these smaller schools come up into Division I. There's ways around all of this stuff, man.
You're absolutely right. Now applying for colleges is going to be huge. Shit, even getting scholarship offers. You know what I mean? A lot of these kids are going to be looking at these, like like Hit said, or like Rick said, in these NIL deals, and what attraction these schools have. You know what I mean? And that's not always the way to look at it. You could come to a school that isn't the biggest school and have more success. Yeah, Rick.
Yeah.
Like, yep, exactly. North Dakota State. Hell, South Dakota State just was competing in the FCS championship. You know what I mean? Even if you have to look at the FCS, the schools in the FCS.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Division 2 and Division 3. You know what I mean? Like, there's talent. There's talent out there. Hell, there's been guys who've gotten drafted from these smaller schools. Look where Jerry Rice got drafted from. Like, come on now. Didn't he get drafted from like Mississippi Valley State?
Yeah, he was one of those, man. You got, yeah.
Ben DiNucci originally got drafted from James Madison.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's been players who got drafted from Holy
Tony
Cross.
Romo was undrafted out of Division 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
even
so,
undrafted players get pulled up to the NFL. You know what I mean? And can get a starting position if they work their ass off.
Was it DeMarcus Ware? Just went into the Hall of Fame last night, baby. Shout out to DeMarcus Ware. What was he? Well, if I'm thinking right, was he Troy State? If I'm wrong, I think he was.
I think he was Troy State.
Yeah.
Andy said the smaller schools are going to be left drowning and could ultimately bring on new conference mergers amongst the non-power programs and conferences.
That's what I'm saying. They could say, you know what? These dudes want to hog that spotlight. Let's do our own thing. Let's come together.
Exactly.
That's a damn good point, Hendo. For real. When you're trying to survive, things like this happen.
Yeah.
The enemy of my
now,
enemy.
Before we get up out of here, guys. No, you're right. If they're going to survive, the smaller conferences might have to merge with each other and become bigger conferences. So that may be something big. But before we get up out of here, Gabe, I got to get your picks for the season. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know who I think is going to win each division. We'll start off with the AFC East. The hell with the Jets. I don't give a damn what none of you guys are saying. The Jets are not winning the AFC East. Look at my face. They're not winning the AFC East. Buffalo is going to win the AFC East.
A repeat champion.
Right. And I will redact my statement if Tua stays healthy the whole season. If Tua stays healthy the whole season, Miami's winning the AFC East. Then let's go to this AFC North. Who you got in the AFC East?
I like Buffalo, but I'm with you, and I do think they keep Tua healthy this year. And I like Miami to come out and take it if Tua stays healthy, which I do think he'll play the majority of the games. Ramsey, that's a big blow because of what they were expecting, but I think they'll be all right. I know they brought in Eli Apple. He's not Ramsey, but I think it's better than whatever else was available out there. But I think that offense, if he's healthy, they're just going to be so explosive. I think that they will. I think Buffalo ultimately, I think they're going to be missing Tremaine Edmonds there in the middle defensively. And I think that's going to be big. I think that's going to be a lot bigger than a lot of people are going to expect. I think it's going to hurt the defense a little bit, especially in the run game. I think Miami takes it from a man for real. I think Buffalo finishes second. And watch out for that New England defense, though. I don't think they're going to win that division, but they could play spoiler with some of these teams, most notably with New York. That's all I'm saying. I agree with you, though. I don't think New York's sniffing that division title. I don't.
Yeah,
but I'm going with Miami.
There's too many talented teams in the AFC East for everybody to just be on New York's jock and be on that bandwagon now. So I honestly think New York's going to actually.
We've seen this movie before. You know what I mean with other teams, and this.
I think New York's going to finish last in the division. Still possibly make. I
got to be honest with you, man. I don't disagree with that. I think disagree
the AFC East, all the teams could possibly make the playoffs. I think all four teams have the opportunity to making the playoffs next season or this season. I think the AFC East and the NFC East are going to be the only two conferences that have all four teams in the playoffs. I think Washington
everybody's sleeping on New England, man, but I think both of us as football fans know better than to sleep on a team that is coached by Bill Belichick.
By Bill Belichick. You cannot sleep on a Belichick team at all.
Nope.
Now, AFC North. Ooh.
Oh, I love this division, man. I am going to love this division this year as a football fan with no rooting interest in any of these teams. This is going to be exciting,
This is going to be a competitive division. I promise you, these divisional games are going to mean so much more this season with Lamar Jackson getting his extension, him getting Odell Beckham Jr., him getting Zay Flowers in the draft, just getting an offense to where he don't got to do all the work. I'm going to actually go out on a limb here and say that the Baltimore Ravens are going to win the North.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay.
Baltimore Ravens are going to win the AFC North.
Lamar definitely has the best receiving pass catching group that he's ever had now.
Yes.
With Mark Andrews still there. He's got Beckham there. You know, he's got
Zay Flowers. He's got
Zay Flowers is now there.
From Minnesota.
You know, so this is the best group
Bateman
of receivers.
From last year.
And Bateman, yes. So this is the best group of pass catchers that he's ever had. And then you got J.K. Dobbins coming in. You know, we all know that if J.K. Dobbins can find what he did that rookie year, which is where all the excitement came before the injury. And then what happens then? You get past that pass game and Dobbins, then you got to worry about Lamar taking off on your ass.
Exactly.
So but I got to disagree.
Stop running them so much.
I got to disagree with you, bro.
Okay.
I don't have Ravens winning this division. I think Cleveland does it this year. I am picking the Cleveland Browns to come and win this division. Don't be looking all shocked at me like that, dog. All right? Because you know why? You know why? Say what you want. We all know what we think of Deshaun Watson off the field. Whatever he did. This man has a full training camp.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to be second.
No.
He's not better than Lamar.
They got the best running back in football, in my opinion. Nick Chubb. It all starts up front right there.
It's going to be a whole lot of flop.
Oh. You know, they brought in Elijah Moore. They brought in Elijah Moore. So, you know, also he's going to play the slot most likely. Peoples-Jones has his moments, but Amari Cooper, we all know Amari Cooper still played at an elite level last year, man. He really
still probably
did.
One of the best route runners.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we all know that defense is one of the top defenses of football, quite possibly the best pass rush in football. I mean, it's up there with the Niners, Cowboys. But then you got to tell me who is a player right there that is arguably that is honestly
disrespect our defense like that and say the Cleveland Browns pass rush is better than Dallas's or even
not better. Up there
top five.
Myles Garrett.
I give him that. Top five.
Myles Garrett.
But
Myles Garrett.
And who else?
Who's stopping this man? Who's stopping this man?
Who else is on that line though?
Oh, you got Jordan Elliott now there in the middle. Okay. We're looking at just at the line. Just at the line. You got Zadarius Smith.
Line.
Zadarius Smith just came to town.
Okay. About to say. Tell me some
like,
names.
You better have one.
We got DeMarcus Lawrence. We got
no, I'm not saying they're better than
Zuma. We got Mr. Parsons. We got who else we got?
Oh, I feel you. We got Donovan Wilson coming from the backfield too on quarterback.
You regretted
it.
I promise you he did.
Right.
You regretted
it. Let me back up a little bit. All right, they're not quite on our level. But they do have we cannot disagree on the fact though that Myles Garrett is kind of the Micah Parsons to their defense.
Yeah,
in terms of
and they're bringing back that dog pound defense.
Yeah,
they're bringing back that old school dog pound defense. I give them that.
With the guys they've got there, and with Deshaun Watson coming in with a full cap now, ready to go. I see that. I see this. I see them taking that top spot. But I guarantee you one thing: whether you're right or me, I really don't. I think the Bengals are in trouble.
Yeah,
I think everybody's caught up to them. Even Pittsburgh made some moves, man.
I think the Bengals are actually going to finish third because of the start of the season and not having Joe. I think that's going to affect them. If Joe's not healthy by the time the regular season starts, I think that's going to that's going to really hurt them. You know what I mean? And I think Pittsburgh is going to do really, really good this season. I'm not sleeping on Pittsburgh.
You know, that's going to go around
the division.
That's going to be around Kenny Pickett. How far did he develop this offseason? Because he's got weapons now. You got Pickens there. You got Deontay Johnson. They picked up Hakeem Butler, like we talked about from the Battlehawks. You know, you got Allen Robinson there now. So
and they
he's
just
got
signed John
weapons.
Lovett at
He's
running
got
back,
weapons, man.
from the Vegas
It's all
Vipers.
it's all gonna go on Pickett. I just don't think Pickett is there yet. Will he ever get there? I don't know.
No,
But I
don't
won't
think
see
he's
it
there
this
yet
year with
either.
him.
I think he's developing into where he is going to be, but it's still taking that development.
He's
time,
in a division. He's in a division with 3 elite talent quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Let's
he
put
definitely
it
is.
that way.
You can't deny that. You got to look at it as he's still that rookie to D Watt, to Lamar, and to Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? And Joe Cool is Joe Cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But Lamar Jackson, he's about to be the most dangerous he's ever been.
That dude's gonna have a year.
This is
I'm
why
gonna be targeting him in fantasy football
Baltimore
this year. That's all I'm saying.
This is why I have Baltimore starting.
Now, do you feel that Lamar's got to find the MVP level again in order to get the team to that, or do you think he's just got to be good enough, just good enough?
No, he's got to play at that MVP level to really make a statement this season.
Yeah.
And say, hey, this is why they paid me. This is why they know they can't let me go.
He's one of those guys that I never get the hate for him.
I think he's going to be in the MVP conversation again. And
he could be.
And Baltimore is going to be in the AFC Championship conversation. Mark my words.
Okay.
Baltimore is no joke this year.
If they win the division, whoever comes out of this division will be in that Super Bowl talk. Because if the Bengals are in it right now, in that Super Bowl talk, then I guarantee you, if they don't win this division, whoever beats them out for the division is going to be that contender. That's for sure. I agree with that.
That's all I can say. Now, let's shift over to. Let's go to the AFC South before we even go to the defending champions.
I have a feeling we're going to agree on our top dog in this one, but go ahead, man.
In the AFC South, I'm looking at Houston being very competitive this season. They've already showed last year that they have the defense. Now this year, we got to see what their offense is going to look like. I'm not going to count them out, but I'm not going to give them the division.
Do you think how much of that do you think was them just playing for Lovey?
They were playing for.
Yeah,
they
knew what was coming. They knew what was coming. They were trying to.
But I think D'Amico has something down there, and
what it did show was that there's talent there. Yeah, I feel you. Oh, D'Amico was a hell of an addition, man. Yeah,
D'Amico being the head coach now, you get CJ Stroud. You have the defense.
I love D'Amico Ryans there, man. I cannot wait to see what D'Amico does with that defense there.
Yeah, I can't either, man. I can't wait to see what he does with the offense as well. Having CJ Stroud, young quarterback coming in.
CJ Stroud to me still was the most NFL ready quarterback of this draft, in my opinion.
I think he might do better than Bryce Young this year.
Yeah, I agree.
But who we got? Houston. We got. I forgot all the AFC.
Tennessee. You got Tennessee, Houston, Jacksonville, and in
Jacksonville. I'm about to surprise everybody.
Oh, hell no.
The Jacksonville Jaguars will win the AFC South.
Oh, no. Yeah, okay.
Trevor Lawrence is that dude.
Yeah.
He's a bad boy. That man, Sunshine. You know, he got the long locks down there looking like your boy Sunshine from Remember the Titans. Well, we ain't going to remember the Titans this season. I'm going to tell you that. Jacksonville going to get in that ass all season long. Jacksonville will win they made the playoffs last season. They damn near won their division last season. So
we saw what happened in that playoff game. They had no business winning that damn playoff game
at all. That was
they were getting their asses kicked, but it happened, man.
We're gonna leave that rigor mortis talk off.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, dog. I got Jacksonville winning this thing, man. I really do. I think Tennessee's time is up. I think Tennessee, the move they made for Hopkins was them saying, "Oh damn, sorry, we messed up last year by getting rid of AJ Brown for peanuts. Our bad.
Yep.
Let's go get this veteran now. Sorry, it's not gonna be enough." Because you're not getting prime D-Hop. You're not getting prime D-Hop. He's still better than about 80% of the guys in the league at where he is. But will he stay healthy? We don't know that. It's going to be good development for Trey Burke. Yeah. And you know Derrick Henry's still going to do his thing, but he's getting up there. Injuries are starting to come on for Henry now. And then
who do you think's going to start for the Titans?
If
Tannehill or
I'm
Burks?
tying, I think Tannehill will start, but if they're looking at having Will Levis as their future, they might want to think about starting him this year at some point. You know, especially if the second half of the season they're on a downslope where they're out of it. You know what? Or they're fighting for their playoff lives, maybe. Let's bring in Levis because Tannehill's not that dude. He's not him.
He said the Texans won't. They'll make some noise. They won't win it, but they'll mess it up for someone. Yes, you're exactly right. But yeah, I definitely have the Jacksonville
I got Jacksonville winning. I think Trevor Lawrence this year will establish himself. This year he will establish himself as an elite level talent.
He said Derrick Henry's wheels are falling off.
Derrick Henry
stiff arm ain't.
That
stiff arm ain't. That boy will stiff arm his arm through your chest plate. You better stop. But yeah, Jacksonville.
I think Trevor Lawrence, he takes that step into the elite quarterback conversation this season by the time the season's done. I mean, they just re-upped Evan Ingram, who actually stayed healthy last year, man. We never saw that with the Giants. We knew what he can do as a pass catcher. And then you've got Calvin Ridley coming back. He's got a chip on his shoulder. Somebody with his level of talent with a chip on their shoulder, bro, that's going to be a dangerous man this year, Calvin Ridley, to see him. And then you've got Travis Etienne. You got Travis Etienne there. You got Zay Jones and Kristen Kirk. So he could end up having one of their better receiving cores by the time this season's all said and done.
Yep. Or at least in his division.
The big question mark is going to be their defense.
I think Dallas and Philly have two of the best receiving cores in the entire league.
Yeah, along with Cincy, of course.
Well, Cincy, Buffalo has a decent receiving core.
Now, the big question mark for Jacksonville will be if the defense can be consistent this year. They were good at times last year, but inconsistent at others. We saw it in that playoff game. It was a tale of two halves for that defense. Yeah, but I do agree with you. I think Jacksonville takes it, and I think Trevor Lawrence is, man, that dude is about to kick off an amazing career. In style, this is going to be his coming out party this year. You watch.
I've been telling people sunshine about to shine bright.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
you know
definitely. We all knew sunshine the hype was real with him coming out of college.
And he showed it, even in his rookie season.
Hell, it was
you know what I mean?
Damn coach over there messing everything up, and they finally got rid of his ass.
And now you bring in Dougie Doug.
Now you bring in Doug, and Doug's like, don't worry, I got you. And look what happened in that one season, man.
Exactly.
Imagine what they're going to do now this year. It's going to be on, man. That's going to be a hell of a
It's going to be a battle in the AFC conference itself, which shifts us over to the AFC West division. And I'm going to shock everybody. Kansas City isn't going to be the same team this year. Losing Juju Smith-Schuster was huge for them. Mark my words. Listen to me. Juju Smith-Schuster was a huge key to them being successful last season, and him going to New England is going to hurt them. But I still can't sit here and say they may not win the division. I still have them winning the division, but I think it's going to be a close race.
When you got Mahomes and Kelsey together, you're going to be in.
I mean, yeah, but eventually that's going to get old.
And that defense is really good now. It's not the defense that it was a few years ago where they were just having to outscore everybody. They don't have to outscore people now.
Right. Their defense can come in there
because we've seen them win those low-scoring games last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just feel a couple of losses. Have a big say too. They're really going to have to lean on the run a lot this year. With
Pachenko's going to be very, very important this season for them. And I think that's what's going to change the dynamic of their team. That's why I think it's going to be harder for them to just win the division outright. You know what I mean? Or outright. I don't think they're just going to cruise to the division championship this year. I don't think they'll be the division championships without, I don't think they'll be the division champions without a fight. And I mean a huge fight with LA.
So
LA is going to be different this season. The Chargers are going to be different this season.
You ain't even lied, man.
Bro, I'm scared for you Kansas City fans.
Man,
Chargers are looking to have a super crazy bounce back season and win the AFC West. But I'm not sure what the Raiders are going to do. And I think that
the Josh Jacobs saga is going to have a lot to say on what their season's going to be.
Yeah. And even with Who else is in the AFC South or AFC West?
We got the Broncos.
Broncos. The Broncos are
We're gonna
going to
find out how much of that was coaching last year. We're gonna find out how much of that was coaching because we know they got the defense.
You said definitely not your Raiders. Too many missing pieces for the Raiders. Powder Puff Blues will take it. You think okay? So Rig Rocker said that the Chargers will take the entire AFC West division. I can agree with that. That's what I'm saying. I'm scared for KFC, or I say KFC fans.
You know, it's kind of messed up is that good old Andy Reid came to focus as soon as you said KFC. I don't know why that was messed up, but I lost you, bro. I got no sound from. I ain't got you, bro. What's going on here? I lost you. I got no sound from you, brother. I don't know if you hear me. You hear me? Yeah, I think it's on your end, bro. I think it's on your end. Check your mic. The awkward silence. Rick Rockets. All right, man. So this gives me an opportunity to give you my AFC West champion. Now, last year, for those of you that are on here that follow my show, Gridiron Nation Podcast, look me up wherever you get your podcast, baby. Just saying. Last year, I think I was a year ahead. I picked the Chargers last year to dethrone the Chiefs. I thought that losing Hill was going to have a bigger impact than it actually did. But I think I got it right this year if I say the Chargers win this division this year and finally take the throne. All right. I mean, we got Mike Williams coming back. There was so many injuries. I don't know if there was ever a point last season where Justin Herbert had his entire receiving core fully healthy. I don't think there was. But he's got Mike Williams coming back healthy. He's got Keenan Allen coming back healthy, who, from what I've seen at camp right now, is running his routes as good as he ever has. You got Gerald Everett coming back at tight end. And my guy who was my number one receiver in this year's draft, Quentin Johnston, the physical freak. This guy's going to be a red zone monster. And then you've got Austin Eckler coming out of the backfield. They still don't have that power back, but they haven't needed it, at least in terms of the running game, because Eckler is such a weapon out of that backfield. And Justin Herbert it's like watching playground ball with this dude. It don't matter who's on the field. He's going to get him the ball. And that defense is coming back stacked and healthy again. Now, the big part on offense, though, that I think is going to help Justin Herbert is the return of Rashad Slater coming back healthy, one of the best offensive linemen in football. That's going to be a major, major thing for that offensive line. But that defense, we've got everybody coming back, man. You got Derwin James, arguably the best safety in football. Got Asante Samuel Jr. coming back healthy. Joey Bosa missed, but what, half of last season? He's going to be back healthy. Oh, and don't forget about Khalil Mack. All right, so this is going to be a strong squad, I think, from top to bottom, if everybody can stay healthy. Kellen Moore comes in. It's not a lot different from what they were doing before, but he will get a little more creative than what they had before with Justin Herbert. And it's a beautiful match, if you ask me. You got Kellen Moore with Justin Herbert, who likes to sling the ball all over the place. This offense is going to put up a lot of points. They got the defense there to help them out as well, man. So I think the Chargers win this division. And watch out for Denver, though. Watch out for Denver, because if it's a whole new culture now with Sean Payton there. I don't know how much better they will be. I think they will be better than last year. I think Russell Wilson will be better than last year. Losing Tim Patrick, though, already, that was a big, big hit. Big hit. And so now they're going to have to go with Marvin Mims, at the right side, who's a rookie. You got Cortland Sutton coming back, though. And then, of course, Jerry Jeudy. And I got to wonder about this run game, man. I got to wonder, because is Williams going to be there for week 1? I don't know. But I'm riding that bell cow as far as I can because that dude is going to be a beast this season if he's healthy. So watch out for the Broncos. But yeah, either way, I got the Chargers winning this thing, man, straight up. I still don't hear you, dog. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You guys hear him? Rig, hit? Or is it just me? Is it my end? I don't know. I hear myself. That's what I'm hearing right now, man. To hell with the donkeys, Rick says. All right. Yeah, it looks like they're not hearing you either, brother. Let's see here. All right. Rick, since I got you in the comments, who wins? Okay, you think the Chargers win this? If one of these teams, not named the Chiefs, let's say you got the Raiders or the Donkeys, which one of them actually has a chance to take that division out of nowhere? What do you think, Rick? Oh, man, we damn near got through the whole show without some technical difficulties, dog. Damn near got through it. Unfortunately, the Donkeys, okay. If we look at Denver, let's look at Denver's depth chart. All right. Yes, the coach. That's going to be the big thing. The culture change that Sean Payton brings. It's going to be huge. That's a championship culture. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be big. Russell Wilson, though, he's got to do it this year. He doesn't even have to be MVP. You know, got to cook Russell. He's just got to be good enough because that defense is going to be powerful enough for them to be in every single game. Russ just has to be a game manager at best if they're going to win, if they're going to compete for this division, straight up. So watch out for Denver. You know, we know KC is going to be there. They're gonna have their name in there, but I like my dude, Justin Herbert, the other sunshine, by the way. Yeah, I like Justin Herbert to get it done with the Chargers this year, man. Straight up. So he laughed at KFC. Now he got muted. That is where you got muted, bro, when you were laughing at the catch. Damn, man. Sorry, Andy Reid, man. He's got connections, man. Shit, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know what's going on your end, man. What are you thinking? Oh, snap, man. Yeah, it was like something when you started laughing and you hit something, and then it was like, okay, now we got no sound. The KFC chickens. Hey, try what if you try in your settings using your you know, your I don't know if you're on a laptop or a desktop microphone. See, man, this is why you need a co-host, dog. This is why you need a co-host. You never know when some technical difficulty bullshit is about to break off. You know what I'm saying? So, Jersey the Mime. He's going to have to start captioning everything he says now at this point. All right, y'all. So, let's see now. We were talking about the AFC West. How about we roll to the NFC for now? I'm going to try and carry this one until we can get your mic back. Oh, there you go. I got you, dog.
Oh, we're back.
There you are.
Thank you, Jesus.
We're back, bro.
Oh, my goodness. Back. As soon as I start talking about them KFC chickens.
I had the minute I mentioned Andy Reid's name up in there, all of a sudden, you know, you got cut off, man.
Oh,
man.
It's
a conspiracy.
But no, I can see the Chargers hands down probably winning it, but I think I'm still going to
I talked a little bit about
chickens.
Denver. I talked a little bit about Denver. Now, what are your thoughts on that? On Denver, do you think the culture change is going to be the biggest thing for them?
Yes, and I think that Russell Wilson's play is going to affect how this season turns out. If he has a bounce back season, then Denver's going to do very, very well. If he doesn't, it's Russell Wilson and it wasn't coaching.
Yeah. You remember in Seattle, man, he had that Legion of Boom there.
Yeah.
He had a very large margin for error, but he didn't have to be. All he had to do was be a game manager. You know what I'm saying? And that's all he's got to do with this defense. He just has to not lose the games. Just move the ball enough. You got Williams there now running the ball. He's still got Jerry Jeudy there. I mean, that's potential. The potential for that dude's through the roof. You got to use it, man. Just don't lose the games, Russell. That's it. That's all Broncos Nation is asking.
He has to play the way he was playing in Seattle. He came to Denver, and they had him on such a high horse that I can't put all that on Nathaniel Hackett last season. I can't put all the losses on him because Russell Wilson didn't play at a high level. Yeah. Let's just call it for what it is. You know what I mean?
Now, do you think though that Hackett did everything to put Russell Wilson in a position to win though at times?
Yes,
I don't know.
That's why I say
he really did.
Okay. Not every time. No.
Okay.
Not every time.
I mean, sometimes some of their game plans.
Some of their game plans. Yeah. Some of their game plans was really like, okay, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And you can't blame that on Russell Wilson at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for Sean Payton to say what he said about
he wasn't lying though. I don't know. I don't think he was fully lying.
He won 4 games. Yeah. Now, if you were to won 1 game or no games, then yeah, that was the best coaching job ever.
And I like what Sean Payton said afterwards. He says, he didn't retract the statements. I like how he didn't retract it, but he did say, sorry, I should have had a filter there because that was still analyst Sean Payton talking and not the head coach. But I did not hear one apology or one retraction in that statement.
And he's not going to.
And I love it. That's what I love about Sean Payton. That culture is going to be a lot different. And
I hope he ain't putting bounties, though. No.
Watch out, man. Watch out, man.
Altitude bounties.
We got my boy Justin Herbert back there. I don't need him getting hurt, man, in that division.
Yo, he's gonna be putting them high altitude bounties out. Yeah. So y'all better be ready, man. Sean Payton's trying to make a comeback. He's trying to get to a Super Bowl.
Chargers about to take that one, though. I think we both agree.
Hey, Rig, you is not lying. Payton don't give a shit about no feelings.
That's right. He don't give a damn. He don't give a damn. That's why I wouldn't have been mad if he came to Dallas
at all.
I would open arms.
I would have loved it because I would have known for sure. Oh yeah, we're going to a Super Bowl now.
That's a no nonsense coach right there.
Because Dak, if you continue to be division around Dak, like I said, I'm putting in a petition.
Man. That's my QB you're talking about.
That's my QB too. But I just don't trust him right now. I believe in you, but I don't trust you.
We're gonna get there. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're working our way towards that, building some momentum towards the NFC East right now.
I'm just saying. All
right.
Okay. Let's switch to the NFC now.
Yes.
Or the NFC. Let's go over to the East. And you already know who I got. Dallas is winning the East. Philly isn't going to have as great of a season as they did record-wise.
Yeah, they lost some big pieces on defense, man. They lost some big pieces. And
even
a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah, even though they gained a couple pieces on defense like Jalen Carter. You know what I mean? They added 2 players from that Georgia defense.
Yeah, so, but my thing with that is, and we've talked about this before, is that
can Jalen stay on that field?
You can't always expect every rookie you got to show out in year one. It's more often that they're not going to than what they are. You know what I'm saying?
30 touchdowns and 21. You know what?
Why are you trolling, bro? That's a troll. That is a damn troll stat right there.
That is finest, man. All right, Hit, man. I thank you for being here, bro. You have a great day, dog.
Thanks, Hit.
You already know, man. We love you, brother. We love you, brother. Well, you always trolling. Now, why you gotta have the trolling going on? Man, Lee, look, Hit, you got somebody to troll with you. Because 30 and 21, nah. I don't think he's throwing anywhere near 21 interceptions at all. I think he'll do a lot better because it's just not like everybody keeps saying.
I think he stays under.
It's not his MO. It's not his MO to throw interceptions all crazy. That's just not Dak. I think he had a bad season. He was trying to do too much. He was trying to be Mahomes.
A lot of that was the situations Kelly Moore was putting him in, the play call. You know, a lot of unnecessary chances he was having to take. And I'm gonna let you continue riding out though with your prediction on this with the Cowboys, and then I'll come in with mine.
I say the Cowboys take it this season because Dak has too much to prove. He knows that this could possibly be his last season in Dallas. Been here 9 years, and you ain't got us to an NFC Championship or a Super Bowl. Yeah, we don't need another Tony Romo.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I think that this is the time with all the offseason moves that the Dallas Cowboys have made, with the acquisitions of Cooks, Stephon Gilmore, signing Malik Hooker to an extension, possibly about to sign Donovan Wilson to an extension, restructuring Dak's contract to be able to make these acquisitions. It's like, okay, you've gotten everything you need. You know, even with the running back position, we've got about 4 running backs that we can rely on. So it doesn't have to all be on Tony Pollard. You know what I mean? Malik Davis is still here. He had a damn good season last season for us. If you look at Ronald Jones coming in and the other back we have,
I don't know if Ronald Jones makes the cut now, especially after this suspension. I mean, he was going to be hard pressed to make the 53.
Yeah.
The other guy, I mean, we did get Deuce Vaughn, who is going to be a situational guy.
Vaughn,
but there's one guy in camp right now that is fully healthy now, that has been there before, that people are talking about in camp right now, Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
They brought him back. And from the word from camp about this dude is that him and Malik are just they're really taking everybody right now, man.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a 3-headed monster, possibly a 4-headed monster with the addition of Deuce Vaughn. Yeah. But I think we're gonna have a 3-headed monster where TP, Malik, and Downey. I just think that running game. That's why McCarthy keeps talking so much about running the ball more, because we got so many backs now. You know what I mean? And
it's a lot of speed in that backfield right now.
And like I keep saying, Deuce Vaughn is going to be the next Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
Watch what I tell you.
I've told people he is going to be our Darren Sproles.
And he's going to be small, compact.
That kind of guy that you don't need 1,000 yards from him. What you need is when you're in a big game and you're on a big drive, all of a sudden you bring this dude in, throw him a couple of dump routes. Next thing you know, you're in the red zone in a big game.
Or the end zone.
an impact player.
Exactly. And he's gonna be that for Dallas. I really do think that he's gonna be that for Dallas on special teams. Come on now. Kevontae Turpin and Deuce Vaughn back on kick return.
Now they're talking about Turpin been getting a lot of work in as a pass catcher. Finally, that's what I wanted to see last year.
I've been waiting to see him get some receiving reps, because now you add him.
I used to scream, Kellen Moore, use this man's speed.
Throw in Turpin.
Why are we running reverses to CeeDee Lamb when Turpin's the fastest guy in that wide receiver room? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you put Turpin on that slot, run an end around to him, run a fake end around to CD.
All it takes is 1 or 2 blockers, and he's gone.
You throw a fake end around the CD and have Kevontae trail him, and actually have the end around go to Kevontae. Now you got not only linemen blocking, but you got CD coming from one side of the field to the other blocking. You already got Michael Gallup or Brandon Cooks on the other side blocking downfield. It sets up a huge run for this boy every single time. Different plays in the backfield. Flea flickers and things like that. They could do it with the speed. Brandon Cooks is a major upgrade. We know. Man, listen, the Eagles got one receiver that's just big time, and that's A.J. Brown. I'm sorry. We got a whole plethora of receivers.
Yeah.
We got a whole plethora.
We already saw that that Devontae Smith is not a wide receiver 1. Oh, he played well as a wide receiver 2, but he's not a wide receiver 1.
He's not a wide receiver 1, and then he's no Brandon Cooks.
No.
He's no CeeDee Lamb.
No.
He's
and
no
as a wide receiver 2, he doesn't have Michael Gallup's catch radius.
At all.
Catch radius.
Let's not talk about let's not sleep on Gallup. You know what I mean? He's going
coming
into
back
the
healthy
season
this year, man.
Healthy. Exactly. He's 100% healthy. So it all relies on Dak. Thank you. This is the most important thing. This is why the Eagles will not win the NFC East next season or this season, because they're coming down to earth. We got tape on Hurts. We got him hurt last season. We got tape on Jalen Hurts from last season and the season before, because now you're able to look and see how developed he was. From his rookie season to his second season, that boy jumped. That boy skyrocketed. And why? He didn't have enough tape on him. You didn't have enough film on him. You ain't have enough ways to stop him. Now we know what to do to stop him. And you give away Miles Sanders.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all you have is AJ and Devontae.
Yeah.
On the
I mean,
outside.
they brought in Swift and Rashad Penny, but both guys were let go of their teams. Why? Because they've shown an inability to stay on the field. They can't stay healthy. Neither one of them.
Availability is the best availability.
Yes.
Availability.
And I don't care about how much they want to hype up the Swift move. Show me when he's had 1,000 yards or played a full season. You can't, because it ain't happened. Neither one.
Exactly. So I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys for the NFC East division title. Period.
All right.
Who you got?
All right. So I picked my boys last year. Well, I'm sorry, but in any other season, 12 games would have been enough to win that division. Eagles just had, they went on that long undefeated run.
Yeah.
That really kind of padded that lead in the division for them. I don't see that happening this year, Jersey. I think Dallas does it. And it's all okay. So my key player is Dak, and I will get to that as you. But I think everything this year is going to run off of our defense. We're going to have the number one defense in football.
Yes. Hands down.
We will have the number one defense in football. We finally got some depth in that DB room, which just a couple years ago, our depth was a weakness. We were praying the guys didn't go down because we had nobody back there. Now we got Bland back there. We've got Mukuamu back there. We've got a couple guys we just signed from USFL.
Yeah, definitely.
So that defense is really going to be what kind of gets us in a position and makes us the contender. But the offense, yes, my dude, my dog, my QB, Dak Prescott. It's your time, baby. It's your time.
It is, damn it.
Everything is set up. Everything is set up. They went and got you, Brandon Cooks. You got a burner now. A guy who's going to take that top off the defense. Before we had a deep threat with Michael Gallup, but he wasn't going to run by people. He's the possession guy. You just throw it up, and Gallup's going to get it. So now you got somebody that's going to make those DBs back up pre-snap because they got to worry about Brandon Cooks. And with the way we're seeing with the chemistry between him and Dak already in camp, people are like.
And then you put all three of those boys together.
Even those seasoned writers for the Cowboys that are usually very, very picky. These guys are like blown away by the chemistry already between Dak and Cooks. So you add that. Oh, and by the way, wide receiver 1, CeeDee Lamb, who is likely going to put his name in the top 5 this year. I expect him to. Yeah, we got him too.
Right.
And
don't forget, they're putting Kevontae Turpin in the slot.
Yes.
They're working him out in the slot.
They're expecting to see, finally, this year, we will get to see what we've got in Jalen Tolbert. Because
we ain't worried about the 49ers.
No.
Okay, sir.
Nobody
we talk about in this division right now. We're talking about the division.
Yeah,
we ain't talking about
and by the way, the league has tape on Brock Purdy now too.
Exactly. Right? And he's better hope his elbow's all right because Michael Parsons is coming for his ass. And you're a damn Dallas fan, sir. So how are you even in the damn chat talking bad about our Cowboys? Mr. Marathon Poker, Mr. Jake. How you doing this, sir? I'm not hearing none of this.
His elbows better be up.
You better make damn right, because we coming for that elbow, boy. We coming for that elbow. We're not worried about that. We'll get to the NFC West in a second.
All right, so
damn it.
They
need a quarterback over there.
You look at all that, and then we've got, I was a big fan of Dalton Schultz, man. I was a big fan of Dalton Schultz in our past game. I understand why they moved on from him, especially after what I saw from Hendershot and Jake Ferguson last year. I think Ferguson, the tight end, is going to step into that role this year. He's athletic, but the thing that he has, he's not as fast as Schultz was, but he's got just as good of hands, and he can block. He can run block.
But he's more powerful. He's stronger than Dalton Schultz.
So we look at that, man, and then we look at an offensive line that should be top 5 this year.
Yep.
Should be top 5. I mean, I was screaming at Cowboys fans last year who were bashing on the Tyler Smith pick. And I'm like, man, y'all better trust Will McClay on this. And what happened? coming out of the NFC. I can
As a whole. Oh, we're about to talk about the NFC
Okay.
North. We're about to go there. Don't worry. That's the next place we're going. You missed the whole AFC division. We already went through and talked about who we think the AFC division winners are gonna be for each division. But we're on the NFC now. So we both got Dallas.
So I've got
taking
because of that offensive line, and then of course Tony Pollard now getting the full load. He's gonna shine. That boy is going to shine, and he's a threat to hit a home run ball anytime he gets the ball, no matter where we're at on the field. So
Whether
it
be a
all
run
comes
or a
down.
pass,
So it
or, I
all
mean, a
comes
catch.
down to my dude Dak Prescott, because I think Mike McCarthy now he's gonna call the plays based on what he thinks Dak can do. It's all in his head, Jersey. We've seen what he can do. He's kept this team relevant offensively when he's on the field. We know what he does during the regular season. If you're not a good quarterback, you don't go 12-5. You know what I'm saying? In the NFC East.
Or 13-3, like he did in his first season.
Exactly. Winning Rookie of the Year as a 4th-round pick. So we know he's got the talent and the ability to do it. What's going to come down to it, yes, is the big game. When you get to that divisional round, where are you going to be up here, Dak? Because I'm going to need my dude. He's mentally strong. We've seen the adversity he's gone through.
Yeah.
We know he can do it, but this is the year. I acknowledge that I am one of the biggest Dak supporters you will ever meet.
Hashtag divisional round Dak.
Hashtag that's my quarterback. I'm just saying. But I do say I do think that if he does not get us to the NFC Championship at least this year, and if in a loss, he would have to really play well. He really would.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're drafting a quarterback, and Mike McCarthy's gone, and Dan Quinn steps up as the head coach. I got to be honest with you, Jersey, that to me, Jerry, with the moves that he made with Gilmore and Cooks, that's very un-Jerry-like. He don't make big splashes in the offseason. Right. To me, he knows, to me, this is our Super Bowl or bust year. I'm not being that fan, oh, this is our year to go to the Super Bowl. What I'm saying is we're a contender, and people need to wake up to that, because all I've been hearing from everybody all over, ESPN, Fox Sports, podcasts, is, oh, it's Philly and San Francisco up here, and everybody else. No. Y'all don't be sleeping on Dallas like that. Don't like we didn't have, the San Francisco 49ers in a dogfight last year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We were
running big formations, bro, and they didn't know what to do with them. Why do you think
they were seeing so many injuries against Philly? We beat them up. We beat them up the week before. They blew their load on Dallas. We took everything out of them, and Philly was just there to pick up the scraps. That ain't going to happen this year. I see my Cowboys winning the division, and I see them making a deep playoff run. That's the farthest I'm going with the prediction on how far we'll get. But I see us doing it. I think my boy finally makes you a believer this year, Jersey.
He better make you a believer. Or that.
At least I'm hoping, man.
I'm getting the petition ready, damn it.
Dak, please, Dak. Come on, man. Don't make me look bad. Okay?
Help this man.
Year, man. Damn, man.
Help this man. My boy Jake says they got Cooks to help him cut back on interceptions. Dak has every weapon now. It's NFC Championship.
But Dak doesn't have an interception problem. He's never had an interception problem. The drops, maybe. That does help the drops, because Cooks is reliable.
Okay. George Kittle was a big difference maker, but we dogged them boys. We dogged that defensive line, man.
He had that one play.
We were running freaking two. Bro, we were running 2 and 3 tight ends.
Yeah.
Bro, like we were running the ball all over them. We just stopped.
let's not forget that Tony Pollard got hurt he didn't play the whole second half. And Kellen Moore, I'm screaming at the TV. Put Malik Davis in and run those Tony Pollard plays to Davis. No,
and they
said we're just going to give the ball to Zeke all day long, and we became one-dimensional.
Shut down. We became one-dimensional.
But Tony Pollard's healthy now. All right, so
he might even be faster than he was last year.
So we're going to see a heavy dose from him. I forget what week it is that we play them in the regular season, but that game,
week 5.
Okay,
it's already on the calendar.
Sunday night football. It's going to be on.
Yeah. I've already marked it on the calendar. Me and wifey already marked it on the calendar.
My boy Dak plays
divided.
My boy Dak plays big in prime time. So I am with you.
He does. Yeah, he does. All right.
I'm with.
Let's move on to the NFC North. My boy Jake says, watch out for the Bears. Yeah, we're going to watch out for the Bears. But guess who's going to win the NFC North?
Yeah, Bears ain't doing it yet.
It's not going to be the Vikings. I'm sorry. It's going to be them Ford Field boys. It's going to be Detroit. Detroit is winning this division. The only way Detroit doesn't win the division is if Alex Magoo starts at quarterback for Green Bay.
Oh, come on, man.
Bro, you don't think Alex Magoo is better than Jordan?
No, let me tell you something. If Jordan Love plays well enough that Magoo isn't needed, that means he's doing something right in Green Bay.
True, but I'm just saying, Jordan Love ain't ready. Jordan Love ain't ready, bro. He's not ready.
I think he is.
I don't think he's ready, bro.
And you know what's going to help him? Same thing that helped Fields last year. They helped Jalen Hurts. There's not enough tape on the pro system on this guy this year. But I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish.
I'm telling you, Detroit is going to win the division. Jared Goff is playing at a high level. He showed us that he was getting into his form. Don't sleep on Captain Kirk. Don't sleep on Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk better step his game up.
Oh, he can play
because Minnesota should have went to the playoffs and had a deep run in the playoffs if it wasn't for him. So stop. I'm sleeping on Captain Kirk.
That fourth down.
I'm sleeping on him,
man. Yeah, man.
I
like Captain Kirk.
Receiver in the league right now. He is the best wide receiver in the league right now. But when you got a quarterback like Captain Kirk doing dumb things that he does on the field, you can't win. I'm sorry. So I'm not worried about Minnesota like that. Detroit's winning the division. Minnesota second. Green Bay's third. Chicago's going to finish last. Or Green Bay will finish last and Chicago finish third. And it'll still be close between their records, as you know, between the two of them. But I'm telling you, Detroit's winning the division. They're winning the division.
Overhyped. They're overhyped right now because that defense was the worst defense in football last year. You don't go from being that bad to good enough in just 1 year because yes, they brought in some pieces. I get that. But it's not going to be
on top because of DJ Moore. Because of just the one couple of moves that they made, DJ Moore and a few others. Nah, come on, Jake. I do agree with this though. Letting go of Stephon Diggs was a big mistake.
Well,
he would have had Justin Jefferson.
They wouldn't have had Diggs. They wouldn't have had Jefferson without the Diggs move though. They would never gone after Jefferson.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So now let me ask you something.
Kirk until it matters.
How many? Let me ask you something. Where was Kirk Cousins in passing last year? Do you know off the top of your head? Do you think he was top 10, top 5?
He was top 5, I believe. Top 5.
Yeah. Number 4 in the league. 5. Number 4 in the league. So we know the dude can pass the ball. This is why we've had this conversation, how I relate him and Derek Carr a lot. How a lot of it is just their mental mistakes at the worst possible freaking time. I think that's Cousins. That we know he can make the passes. We know he's got the heart. I think he gets too emotional at times, and that's when he makes the big mistakes. He doesn't know how to control his emotions on the field. And I still think, though, he can get him there. You know why? Because exactly why you said, why I think Minnesota will repeat as champions, because they have the best wide receiver and most electrifying playmaker in football right now. The damn dude had 3 men covering him on 4th down and long again in Buffalo. And I'm watching the documentary where he's talking about what they said in the huddle, and Cousins just told him, look, man, I'm just throwing it up. You need to go and get this ball. And what did he do? Justin Jefferson won that game.
That defense
it's not good enough
Detroit.
Yet. It was the worst last year. Worst defense in football last year. Worst defense in football.
I'm just telling you, watch the turnaround they're going to make.
No, they won't be good enough. Right. Not against that Vikings offense is still going to put up a lot of points. They're going to put up a lot of yards.
But listen, watch the games that they play against each other. Watch the divisional games that they play against each other. I think Detroit's going to get the edge. I think Jared Goff is going to eat up that defense.
I think they'll split. I could see them both splitting.
You got Minnesota?
You know what? I also, there was also another weapon that they went and got for Captain Kirk, by the name of Jordan Addison, one of the top receivers in football.
You're right.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
They got KJ Osborne there. KJ Osborne is a hell of a slot receiver, man. That dude makes plays on big 3rd downs. You know what it's going to come down to for me in terms of the Vikings? Well, and I think that was the reason for the addition of Addison. But Thielen
Addison,
was
yeah.
so reliable when he's healthy, though. Thielen, man. But you know the key for this team, because they got T.J. Hawkinson there, tight end now for the whole year. But the big thing is going to be Alexander Madison. Does he make them really miss Cooks, or does Madison step in and say, "Oh, this is my backfield now, and it's on"? It's all going to depend on Madison whether to see if this team wins that division or not. In my opinion, I think he does just enough. I think that offense is going to be explosive once again, and I think Jordan Hicks and those guys on defense are going to be able to get it done. You got Harrison Smith still back there, so.
This is the reason why they don't win the division.
But that's why I think Madison is going to get him and do enough. I think
he's not. Listen,
I think he will.
Listen. Dalvin Cook brought to them power and speed.
Yeah. Oh, he was a hell of an all-around back. Pass catching,
blocking. Exactly. That's going to be. That was big as hell for Kirk Cousins last year. That was super big for Kirk Cousins last year. They got out of sticky situations because of Dalvin Cook's. Dalvin Cook. Look,
I think. I'm not. I know what they lost, but my thing is, and we don't know yet about Alexander Madison because the sample size that we've seen from him has been so small. But everything that you just said Cook did, that small sample size that we've seen of Madison, he's shown the ability to do all of that. Run between the tackles and break tackles, block for the quarterback, and go out and pass it.
Is it going to be as effective as Dalvin Cook?
That's the unknown. I think it will. I think it will.
But that's what takes away from them being a solid guarantee for a divisional win.
Oh, absolutely.
Or a divisional champ.
But the unknown could also work in their favor.
No more. You don't know the balance. Let me put it this way. I can't say they don't have any more. They don't have any balance anymore. They're not going to have the balance that they had with Cooks at running, with Dalvin Cook at running. Excuse me, I keep calling them Cooks. With Dalvin Cook at running back, it was a different balance. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
you had defensive coordinators with game planning for him.
Yeah, because you wouldn't know if they were going to just give him a handoff right up the gut, toss the ball to him on a sweeping run, drop the ball off to him on a screen, or
this is why I think early part of the season it's going to work in Madison's favor, because teams now they know Cook's not there. We don't know what Madison can do. So guess what? Early part of the season, everybody is going to be game planning solely for Justin Jefferson. That's when I think Madison is going to have an opportunity to say, all right, I'm here. True. Let me shine. I think he'll do just enough. I don't know if he'll be what Cooks was, but I think he'll be just good enough that it won't hurt the run game enough to make them lose games. On my part, but I do got the Vikings winning this division. I think the Lions are being overhyped just a bit because I don't know about that defense. The same questions you have about Madison, that's the questions I have about how much better or not better this Detroit defense is going to be. They're going to have to show me on the field.
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. My boy Jake said they let go of Diggs, and one of the best receivers to play the game emerged. And you're right.
Oh, he is.
Maybe there is some potential
right now.
Maybe there is some potential with Madison getting opportunity with Dalvin Cook no longer being there. So we may see another star emerge.
Yeah.
We never know.
Yeah.
We never know. We just have to really sit back and see. But then that shifts us down south to the NFC South. Okay, you're gonna take Minnesota for the North. I'll take them good old Detroit Lions. Now down south, I don't know. We were talking about Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta's going to win the division. I'm gonna just keep it real. Tampa Bay,
Let me ask you something before you give us your pick. I'm very interested why I'm wondering, maybe you can explain to me why I've been seeing on a lot of chat rooms and comment sections. A lot of people are mentioning Carolina as a contender in this division. I don't know if I see it when I'm looking at the roster. What am I missing something with Carolina? Before you give us your top team, is there something I'm not seeing that has people saying, I know they added Adam Thielen, all that stuff, but I don't know if
Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Bryce Young.
I don't think
Bryce Young, Adam Thielen, some of the additions that they made, getting rid of DJ Moore, sending him to Chicago. Some of the draft picks they're excited about.
They did add Miles Sanders. They did add Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I'm about to say they picked the biggest addition was them picking up Miles Sanders. So they're really excited in the Carolina. I have the Saints winning it.
Okay.
I have the Saints winning the division and Carolina actually taking second. Now that we think about it, Atlanta is doing a lot in the offseason, but Ritter is not. He hasn't shown enough. Like we were talking about earlier, Ritter hasn't shown enough for me to be like, okay, Atlanta is going to be a real super big contender, and
especially because that's the most important
South
position on your squad, man. So
exactly,
yeah.
So I think Bijan Robinson is going to be carrying that team this season, unless Ritter just surprises everybody. But I definitely have Carolina in second, and not no far away second. I mean a close second. I think Carolina is going to be effective putting Miles Sanders back there. Miles Sanders is going to take a lot of pressure off of CJ Stroud, or Bryce Young. Miles Sanders is going to take a lot of pressure off of Bryce Young. You bring in Thielen, if he can stay healthy, that's going to be helpful for him down there too.
My issue with Carolina, with a rookie quarterback that some still say we don't know yet, his size, this and that. They don't have a true number one there anymore.
Nope.
I mean, you got Terrence Marshall Jr. is going to be their wide receiver one with DJ Chark and Adam Thielen. I don't see any. There's nobody there that scares you.
Jake, you can't say that. And you're right. There's nobody there that scares me. Nobody.
And if you've got a rookie QB like this, you need somebody like a DJ Moore, which, to kind of help this dude become better. I mean, maybe Thielen's that dude, but Thielen, I don't think he'll play the whole season. He's at that point of his career where he's getting injured at times. Mm-hmm. I just don't think there's enough there for Carolina, at least in my opinion.
We can't say that. Carolina eased in Cam Newton. They may have threw him to the wolves, but they eased him in by doing that. Cam Newton's
a big quarterback, though.
But he was prepared to be thrown to the wolves. He was prepared to get drafted and come in as a starter when he did.
Was tough, though.
He was already ready to go. He got his body already primed and ready from that transition. He was already big as hell.
Bryce Young's a little dude, though, man. Bryce Young is a little dude.
Bryce Young needs all the pieces around him that he's going to have.
Yeah, they're going to need that line. They're going to need that line to really surprise a lot of people if he's going to have a big rookie campaign this year.
We were talking about this earlier, Jake. Kamara being suspended could affect them, but we still don't think that's going to stop them from being the top of the NFC South.
Yeah.
The Saints, hands down, just adding Derek Carr put them at the top of the list.
And we talked about it, Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams. That's their insurance policy.
They have They have an insurance policy with Jamal Williams for those first 3 games. And I just feel that, you got all the wide receiver combo. You have everybody on defense that you need. They just signed an extension for Cam Jordan. You know what I mean?
4th extension. That's crazy.
And exactly, he's got his 4th extension with the team. Yeah. So, the Saints hands down, has the defense, and they now have the offense with Derek Carr at the helm, and then you got Taysom Hill, who can come in as a tight end or fucking.
He's like their Deebo Samuel, man, from the tight end position. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And exactly, Thomas is back as too. Michael Thomas is coming back. You know what I mean?
And see, my guy there is Olave. I think Chris Olave is going to shine with Derek Carr throwing that.
And
ball.
Then what's the other receiver that they just drafted?
Oh, you're talking about A.T. Perry?
No. Who got in Jigba?
Oh.
Who got in?
No. You're thinking of Seattle. Seattle got in Jigba.
Okay,
so we haven't got there yet. We haven't gotten to Seattle.
No, I'm trying to see what rookie receiver I think just came to.
Well, the Saints picked up A.T. Perry. That's the rookie right there that they're going to be having there, and he's got an opportunity
to really shine.
On the right side. Yeah, he does if he gets some playing time, because they got Rashid Shaheed coming in the slot, and if he doesn't pan out, man, we could see Perry in there getting some plays in there in the slot position, man. So
definitely.
With that said, I gotta agree with you.
The Saints are going to take it hands down.
Yeah. Now, one team we didn't talk about, and I want to get your thoughts on them. Do you really not believe in Baker Mayfield with a healthy offensive line in Tampa, with Mike Evans, with Chris Godwin?
Speaking of Mike Evans, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you call yourself the best wide receiver in the NFL right now? No, You're not better than Justin Jefferson. Stop it. No. This is what I want you to do. I want you to take your hand, Michael. I want you to take your hand, Mr. Evans, and I want you to look at your hand. I want you to say,
powder. Put a little powder.
Hi, hand. I forgive you for what you're going to do to me. And I want you to slap yourself in the damn face for even saying something like just blasphemous like that.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
Slap. Because damn it, you are not the best receiver in the league right now.
Oh man,
he
is elite though. People need to stop leaving him out of the elite conversation because you don't have that many 1,000-yard seasons consecutively without being elite. But you're absolutely right, man. What the hell? What the hell? Did they drug test him after that comment?
Come on, exactly. Like, come on, dude. You're not the best in the league right now because if you were, no matter who they had at quarterback in Tampa Bay, y'all would have been a factor.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay is not going to be a factor next season. Tampa Bay is going to go 2-7 or 2-15.
I got to be honest with you, man. When they're both healthy, maybe at once upon a time, Mike Evans was the best receiver in this team. Definitely one of the best possession receivers. But he's not even the best on his team no more. When Chris Godwin is healthy, this dude, not only is he fast, he burns people. He's one of the better route runners, the best route runner on that team. And he's a possession receiver. He's actually more balanced than Mike Evans.
He has the best hands than he has
better
hands. He
is more balanced than Mike Evans because Mike Evans, every time they throw a jump ball to him, he's always covered. He just makes a great catch. Chris Godwin, sometimes he's wide open. And I'm like, how? Because he's leaving people in the dust. So Mike Evans may not even be the best receiver on his team anymore.
That's what I'm saying. How do you even come out your mouth saying that, knowing damn well last season you didn't even have a 1,000-yard season?
I do want to see one bright spot though from this Tampa team this year, and that's going to be second-year running back Rachaad White. Now that now that Fournette's gone.
No, Arians is not there.
No.
Arians is no longer there.
But I think Rachaad White at running back, man, I think he's going to be a beast this year. I definitely do. For Tampa, that will be a bright spot for their offense, in my opinion.
But he ain't going to carry him to no victories.
No,
8 victories, 9 victories. They're going to get about maybe 3-4 victories at the most. Yeah. But I predict them going 2-15.
And that defense is it's starting to age a little bit. That secondary still, Derek Carr is going to eat that secondary for breakfast with his receivers. Yep. So that's why I got the Saints winning this one. Like I said, I love Chris Olave this year to take an even bigger step than what he did last year, especially with Derek Carr there. You've got Kamara there. Now you've got that 2-headed running back. Are you kidding me? Yeah. And then if Michael Thomas comes back rejuvenated a little bit, I think Derek Carr is going to get it done this year, bro. People need to stop hating on this dude, bro.
That's what killed me with Stephen A. and everybody on TV talking about Derek Carr.
Yeah.
The quarterback can't do it all himself, man. And he just now had a team, and they had all the issues with the coach. They lose Henry Ruggs III.
It's just, I'm telling you, McDaniels last year, when they brought in this whole new offensive system, it totally killed everything for them.
Yep.
Everything. And then there was some of that play calling at times. I'm like, why are you calling plays specifically only for Devontae Adams? Did you forget you had Hunter Renfrow on the other side? Pull some of that pressure.
Exactly.
And then now
Darren Waller.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
when he was healthy.
And that's the problem too. When Waller was in there, the offense that they were bringing in with this new regime, no, it does not play to Waller's strengths, man. And that's why they finally shipped him out. He's in a better position. But I get it, man. Like, I think, though, the Saints, though, with what they've got going on there, bro, and Derek Carr, he's put himself in a real good situation. That's my sleeper team for the NFC this year. People need to stop sleeping on this squad because not only are they in a down division, but they're going to give the rest of the NFC some problems. They will give the NFC some. That defense is still going to be top 10, top 5 maybe.
It's still going to be an elite.
You still got Lattimore there. So you still got, Cam there, like we were talking about. So they're going to be a problem, and people are sleeping on them. Not me, baby. Hell no, not me.
So the Saints, I feel, are just going to hands down take control of the NFC South and punch themselves a ticket into the playoffs next season, just from NFC South divisional play. They're going to win the division hands down and punch themselves a ticket. Now let's shift over to our last division to talk about. And that's the NFC West. I can. This one's hard. You said the NFL doormat division.
Damn, people weren't saying that just a couple years ago, man. Ain't that crazy? A few years ago, when the Rams were on their Super Bowl road, I mean, you had Arizona winning ball games. You had the Niners winning ball games, and Seattle was the doormat, and now it's like everything's flipped. It's crazy, man.
Arizona's going to be shitty.
Oh, yeah. Quite possibly the worst team in football this year. I'm putting it out there right now.
Arizona's going to be horrible. I mean, horrible.
Yeah.
The Rams, I'm a little scared for the Rams. I don't think they'll be the best team, but I think they'll have a better record than they did last year.
I think the issue with the Rams will be, I think their offense coming back healthy now. They're going to put up points, but they're not going to stop nobody. They got 9 new players on defense. I was about to say their defense is all basically rebuilt, and Aaron Donald has to do way too much on his own. Yeah. But I think the NFC West is going to ultimately come down to Seattle and the Niners. And the only way I can see the Niners taking it at number 1 and winning the division is Brock Purdy. Period. If Brock Purdy plays the way he did last season for an actual full season, even with teams having tape on him now, if Brock Purdy can play the way he did last season, then you got to take the 49ers to win the division. I mean, every other piece is in there on defense, on offense. Every other piece is there. The reason why he was so successful last season is because he went with the flow. He did, you know what I mean? He went with the flow, and Kyle Shanahan put everything in place for him to be successful. If he tries to come out this season and think he's that bad man and think that he's the shit and think that he's too big, that he's bigger than the britches that he got on, I'm telling you, he's going to have a real rookie season, and we're going to really get to see. I get it. I get it. You can have tape on a player all you want, bro. But if your coach puts you in the right position to be successful no matter what you do, like look what Cooper Rush did. Cooper Rush came in and went 5-1. Why? Because he didn't overthink things. He didn't overdo things, and he came in and just worked with the game plan. And they put in place. You talked about Shanahan. It was the same thing with Cooper Rush. The coaching and the play calling put him in a position to succeed.
Exactly, and I feel the jury's still out.
And not
the jury's still out for Purdy.
Yeah,
because Purdy has a lot to prove this season. Purdy has to prove that he can do that through a whole season, which kills me because it's like you traded up so high to get Trey Lance.
Man. Yep.
And now you're just going to leave Lance in the dirt.
And let's be honest, Trey Lance, we have not seen a fair shake for Trey Lance. The game he played was remember the weather? Windy, rainy. Are you kidding me? And y'all went off of that game.
Yep.
Like he has not had a fair opportunity in his defense. Trey Lance has not.
Nobody cares South Division, but no, it hurts to see that. It hurts to see that. Oh, you're talking about the West Division. It hurts to see that you would go so high up in the draft to get this guy, Trey Lance, and now that Brock Purdy came in because he was injured, Jimmy G was injured. You know, Brock Purdy comes in, he has some success. Now it's just like, oh, he's better than Trey Lance. No, he's not.
No,
he's not. No, he's not. Trey Lance has multiple FCS championships from college, showing that he could lead. He even got back-to-back championships. So don't play with that boy. Trey Lance can ball his ass off. It was just he got injured because when he was out there playing, see the problem with what Mike or Kyle Shanahan did when he had Trey Lance at QB is he was trying to use him too much as a runner.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow that boy to use his arm, he can be just as successful as Purdy.
Especially with the playmakers they have there.
Maybe even more successful.
Debo and McCaffrey, you don't even have to throw deep. All you got to do is catch those guys running on the move, and they're gonna make the plays for you.
Exactly.
You know
So
what I'm
they
saying?
need to give Trey Lance an opportunity. They need to stop sitting here being on such a high horse off of Brock Purdy because of what he did at the end of the season. If Trey Lance would have been there, I think if they would have adjusted and Kyle Shanahan would have actually utilized Trey Lance's arm and legs, they would have had the same success. In my opinion, they would have had the same success. But you're sitting here putting him in more running situations than passing situations. He's a quarterback. Why are you having your quarterback come from under center and run the ball more than he's throwing the ball? And then you expect him not to get hurt. You got him out there running around like he's a damn running back.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Brock Purdy is going to be as successful as he was last season. I'm sorry. But I still can't put Seattle winning the NFC West over the 49ers. I still can't. The 49ers defense is too elite. They still have all the offensive pieces. I feel you can put anybody at quarterback in 49ers or on the 49ers and they'll be successful as long as they just make the right decisions and don't overthink things. So I still have 49ers winning the division, Seattle being in second, the Rams taking third, and Arizona finishing with probably the worst record in the league, but finishing fourth.
Okay. All right.
Jesse says he doesn't have to be successful. He just has to not lose the game.
Exactly. And I think let's look at Brock Purdy's numbers last year through 9 games. Okay. 1,374 yards, 13 touchdowns. Through 9 games, that doesn't stand out to you. That doesn't make you say, wow, this dude locked in the spot for next year. That's game manager like. And in Kyle Shanahan's system, that's all you got to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Jimmy G was so successful there, because and even Purdy's stats last year were padded by guys like Deebo Samuel, who was taking that little 7-yard dump route and taking it 45 yards to the house.
Yep,
you know what I mean?
Christian McCaffrey on a screen.
Yes, but in the end,
40,
people are saying,
yards.
"Oh, look at the passing yards that Purdy had for this game." But how many of those were air yards? All you have to do is not lose the game, because they're still going to run the ball with their running backs. They're still going to beat people up front. You know what I'm saying? And that defense, like you said, as long as that defense is elite, which they are, and they keep adding to it, like they did this year.
Yeah.
They're going to be up there, and I see them winning the division as well. I don't think Seattle is very intriguing to me, bro, because not only did they kind of like surprise everybody last year, but Kenneth Walker showed us like, wow.
Yeah, he did.
They go and add Smith and Jigba. Are you kidding me? You add him to Tyler Lockett and DJ Metcalf. And we already know Geno Smith can take the hits. We already know he can make the throws. We already know he can extend games. He's a veteran now, but he'll still take off and run when he has to.
He really will. And that's why I say they'll be a very, very close second in a battle. I think
they're gonna split with the Niners this year. I
think they might too. I think the division will come down to them two and their point total in the split games.
Oh, let's not forget too on defense that they added. Oh, they brought Bobby Wagner back home, who's still playing at a high level.
Yep.
And they added one of the,
because they wasn't going to let him go to the XFL.
No.
They was not going to let him go to the XFL.
Let's not forget that they just added one of the best cornerbacks in college football with Devin Witherspoon, and they finally locked in his contract. You know, and you've also got Quandre Diggs there in that defensive backfield.
True.
Jordan Brooks, that interior, they're going to be better in defense this year. All Geno Smith has to do is play as good as he did last year. That's it. And now they know what they have with Kenneth Walker. I still don't think they'll be good enough to win the division, but you're right. They will be right there. But they are intrigued. It wouldn't surprise me, I guess is what I'm saying, to see this team have the Niners in a dogfight the last 2 weeks for that division. It will not surprise me at all, man.
Me either, man. I really think Geno's going to come back down to earth too, and I think he's going to get off that high horse that everybody put him on. But I think he's still going to have a very successful season.
But he earned that shit last year, though.
I think he's going to earn it even more. I think he's going to show and prove that, hey, last year wasn't just a fluke. I'm here.
I was happy for him,
I've been a
man.
journeyman for all this time. Now I'm about to show you that I'm a starting quarterback in this league.
And he's got weapons, man. He's got weapons. DK Metcalf, it's time to start freaking being that damn Megatron type player that you were built to be and start
like
dominating. There is nobody no cornerback in this league that can go up for a jump ball against this guy if he decides he wants to dominate.
Right.
Exactly. JP, I need DK to step up, be as physically dominant as he could be. And me and JP talk about that all the time. Like, this dude, he is right now what Derrick Henry was before Derrick Henry was convinced to start just running through people. Yep. Remember when he was soft at first? He was afraid to get hit. And then all of a sudden he talked about that NFL veteran. I think it was somebody from Washington that told him, you need to start running through people. That's DK. DK Metcalf stopped playing because I know Tyler Lockett's going to be consistent again this year. I know that.
You got to have them strong hands to take the ball. And that's the thing DK does. DK has not only the hands, but he's got the arm strength.
He's size. He's a freak of nature, man.
DK could grab the ball. The defensive back could grab the ball. All at the same time in the air. DK could come down with that ball on his own by just ripping it out of it. Yeah, because he's strong enough. He's got the strength. Yeah. So I think DK just had to step up, with that new talent coming in with Njigba and, everyone else really contributing. They're going to be in a dogfight every time with the 49ers. And I think they're going to be in a dogfight with them for the NFC West divisional race.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. But I still have the 49ers taking the division, depending on how Brock Purdy plays. If Brock Purdy plays good, the 49ers will win the division. If not, then I could see Seattle possibly taking the division. But as of right now,
there's one area, there's one
49ers.
chink in that Niners defense that Seattle could exploit because of Seattle's receiving core, and that's that Niners secondary is their weak link. It's only never really exposed because of how much of a beast that pass rush is that disguises it.
But that damn safety, Tufanga, man, that boy's gonna be a problem. That boy's gonna be the next Troy Polamalu.
You're talking about Talanoa? Yeah.
He's gonna be the next.
Hufanga. Yeah.
Hufanga's gonna be the next.
Yeah. But I'm looking at their cornerbacks, man. I mean, Charvarius Ward, okay, he's all right. But that's their best cornerback. That's the best cornerback. But that pass rush, when you have a pass rush like that, sometimes all you got to do is just hold up just long enough for Bosa to get at your quarterback.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
Bosa's going to have a problem this season to repeat as Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, because my boy Mike is coming for that. And they just added,
Number
you know what?
11.
I got to thank the 49ers on behalf of all NFC East fans that aren't Eagles fans for adding Javon Hargrave to your roster and taking him away from Philly. I know we got to see Hargrave again at least once this year, but it's better than seeing that dude twice. That's all I'll say.
Exactly. So thank you. You guys can have him.
Yeah.
But they ain't ready. They ain't ready, man. Dallas all the way.
Yeah.
Dallas taking the NFC as a conference. I don't know what's going to happen in the AFC West, but I think Dallas has an opportunity. Dallas has a legitimate opportunity this season.
I do think that those three teams, though, the Cowboys, the Niners, and the Eagles, are people got to stop. Teams. People got to stop leaving Dallas out of the conversation with those.
Those are the three best teams in the NFC, hands down. And if you try to add any other team over any of those three teams, you're a fool.
Let me ask you something real quick before you decide to sign off. And this is on behalf of my boy JP, because I know he's a Giants fan. Let's say Danny Dimes decides that he's going to be game manager this year, and Saquon knows he's got to ball out this year. He has no choice. But let's say Hodges establishes himself as that wide receiver one. They got Waller there now. That defense got better.
Don't you ever.
And see, he types this all as I'm showing his boys some love. I'm hurt, bro. Come on, man. Ain't nobody talking about this all year. We're saying we're a contender.
This guy here. I'm one of those people that I look down at Dallas Cowboy fans who say that every single damn year. I'm sorry. You're not a real fan if you say that out of your mouth. You're not a realistic fan if you say that out of your mouth. And I'm a realistic fan. I am a realistic
like I said
fan.
before, though. I'm not that fan to say this is our year. But anybody who watches football, even if you hate the Cowboys, you're blind and fooling yourself if you're telling yourself that they are not one of the NFC contenders this year. You're just playing yourself if you're not willing to acknowledge that.
You're
so
not.
We can at least say that.
You're lying to yourself if you're saying that the Dallas Cowboys don't have one of the best offenses over the last 5 years.
One of the best rosters in football right now.
We're going to get to the whole roster, but let's just keep it 100. You can't sit here and say we don't have one of the top 5 offenses in the league.
Yeah.
You can't sit here and say we don't have one of the top 3 defenses in the league. You can't say we don't have one of the top defensive coaches in the entire league. You can't say we don't have some of the best special teams players in the entire league. The Dallas Cowboys.
Say what you want about McCarthy.
He's
got a Super Bowl.
Exactly. He's one of the best coaches to ever do it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a Super Bowl.
May not be.
I ain't seen Rodgers win one without him either.
Exactly. He may not be the best time manager or best clock manager in the game, but
I acknowledge all you're saying is 100% facts. I appreciate that, JP. But back to what I was saying. I was asking you, Jersey, with everything that the Giants did to improve on defense, and then offensively, and then I expect their defense to be better. If Hodgins, one, can establish himself as a wide receiver one, and Daniel Jones just doesn't lose games, makes plays on third down.
Gets Daniel Wall or gets
Waller involved. Do you see them getting back to the divisional round, if not more? Because I don't think this team got worse. I think they actually got better. My question is, how good were they really last year? Was that an anomaly? Was it a fluke, or was it not?
I think Daniel Jones did what the coaches told him to do, and it was successful. I think this year Daniel Jones is going to try to step out that little – he's going to try to step out a little bit. You know what I mean?
Trying to start flinging that ball around with Waller
there. Start flinging that thing with Waller and them boys there now, and I think that's going to bite him in the ass.
But I'll tell you one thing, man. I do believe that they have the best coach in our division.
They do.
Brian Dable. But Mike McCarthy, though, people love to hate on it because he's the coach of the Cowboys. That's the only reason nobody wants to acknowledge his Super Bowl. And he was a big reason for Aaron Rodgers getting that Super Bowl.
Exactly, he was. Dallas has 2 elite cornerbacks, and pass rushers. I think we actually have 3. I think they're sleeping on Odigizua.
Yes, and the word out of camp is this dude is looking like a monster.
Yeah, and our nose tackle, everybody's sleeping on Odigizua, and I'm not appreciative about that. Yeah. Ever since him and Micah Parsons came in,
Osa is a monster, bro.
Listen, the reason why Odigizua didn't get the recognition he deserved in Dallas in their rookie season is because Micah Parsons outshined every rookie in the league that season. Okay, so that's why. But if you've noticed, Odigizua has gotten better ever since their rookie season. Even Odigizua was in the conversation of Defensive Player of the Year at one point for rookies.
Yeah, it's very difficult to be a legit pass rusher from the defensive tackle spot, and that's what Osa Odigizua is showing an ability to do. And I think we're going to see a lot more of him this year. Mozzie was brought in, but he's going to be our run stopper. He's just going to plug those gaps. But Osa's
running those 2 big tackles.
When Osa's in there and he's rushing, and you've got Micah on one end and Take on the other side, damn, dog. Got quarterbacks running scared.
And then you got Lawrence.
And now with that secondary that secondary, that's a deadly combination when you've got an elite pass rush and elite.
And if Trayvon's worked on his one-on-ones, if Trayvon has worked on his one-on-one coverage and he's gotten better with his one-on-run coverage and he's been able, and he's a better zone and man-to-man cover cornerback, y'all got a problem.
Oh, and I'm telling you, Gilmore coaching him up
record. Now? Right. Y'all thought him going after the record for interceptions was happening last. Oh, watch what he do this season. Stephon Diggs going to be a monster.
People just don't like to talk about people don't like to talk about what Trayvon did last year when he shut down Jamar Chase, when he shut down Justin Jefferson for the 2nd year in a row, when he shut down scary Terry McLaurin. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about that. When he did all that, he shut those guys down, and because Quinn was like, all right, you're going to be on an island. This is what we're going to do. He's shown the ability, and I think with Gilmore there, you're right, man. It's scary. If he can get better, which he can, Gilmore's going to bring out the best of him, man. It's going to be nasty.
We will have the best. We will have the number one defense this season.
Yeah.
If everything goes the way it should, the Dallas Cowboys should have the number one defense this season.
People need to also stop hating or not recognizing how big it was for them to bring Van Der Esch back for one more year. Because the way he played last year, he was very consistent. His tackling got a lot better. Now we're going to get to see Damone Clark there, linebacker.
And
Bill Cox and Overshown.
And Overshown, bro. I'm excited about that rookie. Yeah. I'm super excited about that rookie, man. He's looking really, really good in training camp, too.
Oh, man. And let's not forget about Isaiah Land, who was also,
Yes, sir. Yeah. And what we were talking about earlier, Mr. Turpin.
Yeah.
Getting his opportunity at the wide receiver position.
I do want to see though what the Giants are able to do in terms of their pass rush, man, because
I think the Giants even have an opportunity to battle Philly for the second spot.
I love that rivalry too, man, because they hate each other. There's always fights when those two squads play. I love it. But you're right. I think the Giants could be a problem for Philly this year.
I think the Giants could take.
Don't sleep on Washington. Washington's got an elite defense there, so we can't sleep on them too. We can't sleep on them.
I think Sam Howell's going to actually do pretty damn well for them this year. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's just Sam Howell." Look what he did against Dallas last year. I know it was the last game of the season or whatever the case, but look what he did in that game. Whether we played like, it was the last game and we ain't going to make it to the playoffs if we don't win, whether we played like that or not, he played like that. Because Washington had to. And Sam Howell came out there and he put on a show, bro. He put on a show. And I really honestly believe that if Sam Howell is going to be their guy, I think he's going to be successful. And I really believe that the AFC East and the NFC East will have all four teams in each division in the playoffs next season.
It's a possibility, but I'm with you. I got Dallas winning it. Philly second, but I could see the Giants slipping in there, man, if some things go right for them, because Dable and Winkle are going to have these guys ready every week on both sides of the ball. So they're going to be ready to go.
Philly's the city of brotherly love, my ass. Rig, I know you hate him. Yeah. And yes, the NFC East is very competitive. It's going to be very competitive regardless. But I honestly think that the NFC East and the AFC East will be the only two divisions with all four teams in both divisions in the playoffs this season. So that's how I'm really feeling this week, man. Again, Gabe, man, I want to thank you for coming on here today, surprising everybody. A lot of people weren't even expecting you to be on here.
It's all good.
We might actually make this a permanent thing. We got to talk about that, man, because this is fun.
And man, we got to talk about that, bro. Definitely. And for everybody, just by the way, if you give me a chance, if I can plug my show for tomorrow a little bit.
Definitely. That's what my next step was to do. Go ahead.
Right. So any Cowboys fans out there, man, a lot of you guys might be familiar with West Coast Cowboy. He's one of social media's biggest fan content creators, blog creators, man. The dude's got 70, 80,000 followers or something like that. But he's going to be on the show tomorrow. So I'm going to be, we're going to be talking a lot of Cowboys football, and I'll get in his head a little bit. He's been out at training camp posting up a lot of video. So it's going to give us an opportunity, those of us who haven't been out there, to see some of these guys that have been showing out that aren't getting the love on the internet, man. So we'll talk to him about that in the NFC East a little bit. So look me up, Gridiron Nation Podcast. I'm looking at going on at 3:30 my time, which is Mountain Time. All right, so adjust your clocks accordingly wherever you're at. And also all these predictions we made today, I'm going to be going into them over the next few weeks on my show a little more in depth. So if you want to see me go more in depth into each of these teams and why I think they're going to finish where I think they're going to finish, just follow me, Gridiron Nation Podcast, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about right there with this whole gridiron gang thing we got going on, man.
Yes,
Straight
sir.
up, brother. Straight
Definitely
up.
do. Where can they find you on Twitter?
All right, so you can find me on Twitter. Just type in my handle at @1 Gridiron Nation, at the number 1 Gridiron Nation, or just go on Facebook. You can just search me at Gridiron Nation 1, or just at Gridiron Nation, and it'll pop up. So straight up, man. And if you happen to follow the show and you like the show, you catch me tomorrow. You can email me any questions you got to gridironnationpodcast@gmail.com, man. You can find me on Instagram. I don't have the info in front of me. I wasn't ready. All right. I wasn't ready for this surprise visit, man. But find me on Twitter. Actually, on freaking, what is it? TikTok, at Gridiron Nation Podcast. I'm still trying to get the hang of having to create some videos for TikTok, man. I ain't about TikTok, man. I don't like it. I don't like that app. The minute I open up and it blasts a video at me, I'm like, hold on. I ain't ready for all that. I'm just trying to open the app. I'm just trying to open the app, man. Slow down, TikTok. Damn. Barely open the app and you got some loud ass video all in your face, man.
That's the truth, man. My boy Jake says, definitely nice to meet you, man.
Nice meeting you guys. Follow me, man. Gridiron Nation Podcast. And you can follow me on YouTube also. And I'll be on tomorrow. I'm sure Jersey, I know I can depend on you to share it, once I get the stream going, man. So y'all look for me on Jersey's page tomorrow, man. Follow the show, and let's continue to ride like this every week, man. This was fun, bro. I appreciate it. Straight up.
Speaking of, we just going to ask this. How about this? What do you guys think? Should we make Gabe a permanent co-host of the Gridiron?
Co-host.
Straight up, you guys want to make him a co-host? Because I love this. I love this portion. Me and him, this guy right here, man, he's a good dude. And the knowledge that we have on football, we can bring you guys something every week will be fun. We got a hell yes. We got a hell yes from Rig. Well, honestly, I think that's what we're going to do. We're definitely going to probably more than likely just have Gabe come on every week with us and just become a permanent co-host of the Gridiron. And, that'll help promote, Gridiron Nation as well, his separate podcast. Look, there you go. Already subscribed to you, brother.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate you. Oh, my boy JP says yes.
We got a bunch of yeses. All right, so the hell with it. We're gonna make it official. Gabe, you are now the new co-host.
I am the newly dubbed.
Yes,
co-host.
sir.
You got to do like someone with a little pen right there on my shoulders. We dub thee. We dub thee co-host of the Gridiron. That's what I'm talking about, man, for sure. I had to make it official with you guys, the viewers, man, because at the end of the day, when he comes on here, especially when we get into Cowboy debates, and we're both fans of the team. We're both diehards, but we don't agree on Dak. So, like, that debate, the debate that comes with it, man, is just an awesome feeling. And then there's so many more things to debate about and talk about with sports in general. But football is just, there's so much. So I'm honored to. I appreciate you, brother. It's been an honor, man, to do these shows with you. And going forward, we're going to continue to let our brands grow. You know what I mean? And all we need is just everybody, guys, just, share it on your pages, share the streams, share the pages, share the episodes, because engagement is everything on social media. Right now, social media is our form of free advertisement. So we need y'all just to get on this. And I appreciate those of you that do. I know there's those of you guys out there that do. I see it every week. You're getting shares. You guys are sharing on your pages and you're interacting, man, because that's the way the whole algorithm works. They're trying to get money out of us, man. Facebook trying to make us pay for the exposure. But if you guys just put it out there for us, well, then that's our free advertisement right there. That's all we need, you guys, man. So we appreciate every single one of you, Jersey. I appreciate you. You've helped me actually build what I'm doing. And I appreciate that, bro, a lot, man. I really appreciate that a lot. And, man, I'm motivated, brother. I am motivated highly right now. Yeah, so let's do it.
Look, hey, y'all see them colors in the background? Y'all see that Renegade blue and black?
That's my music.
Your boy's about to be starting the Renegades channel.
Yeah.
So any of my X-Fan Legion viewers, the X-Fan Show followers, I will be speaking with A-Train and Dirty, and we will be adding my boy Gabe and his Renegade show to the X-Fan Legion. So once the first episode of the Renegade show does get ready to release, you already know we're going to be promoting the hell out of that thing, man. And we'll be here ready to, support Gabe. Even if you're not a Renegades fan in the XFL, we got an XFL
we'll teach y'all about the
XFL
Renegade
show coming.
Yeah, we'll teach you guys about the XFL. That's all. That's all. Get you guys interested, man. So
because that's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
Getting the all Renegade show. Like I've got the Fang Gang Nation now. We got B Hawk Live, we got Rough 'em Up, we got Horns Forward, we got the Smoking Guns. There's several of them now, and we're also getting a Guardians show coming, guys. So we're gonna have a show for Orlando as well coming in the Guardians team in the XFL, as well as we'll be having a team for the Renegades now, or a show for the Renegades now, brought to you by Gabe Garcia of the Gridiron Nation. So you guys get ready for that, man. There's big things popping, little things dropping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We're trying to do big things.
Hey, but
man.
you know what the
And
big
again,
thing
I'm
is
happy
we're moving. We're moving. Any kind of movement is progress. That's the way I see it, man. We're going to be moving forward, whether it's adding more podcasts,
Exactly.
adding more listeners. Any kind of movement is progress instead of just staying still. You know what I'm saying? So got some big things coming, guys. Definitely. Definitely.
I think you froze, bro. There we go. Now, before we get out of here, guys, again, I want to just thank everybody for tuning in today. I want to thank Gabe for joining me today, and we making it official that you are the new co-host of the Gridiron podcast. I don't know what.
Don't forget though. Follow me, Gridiron Nation podcast. That's my baby right there. All right. And I gotta put it out there now too. Now I gotta turn around. I gotta spend the rest of the day creating a bunch of little like advertisement graphics saying, "Please welcome the new host, the new co-host of the Gridiron." Now I gotta go back and spend all day putting some more promo material together, man. But
hey, it's worked it though. It's definitely worked it.
It is, man.
We
do it because we love it, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, man. Make sure you guys like the stream, share the stream. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Jersey the King Show. Subscribe to Gabe's YouTube channel, Gridiron Nation. Also go and subscribe to the Gridiron Podcast Show. And make sure you guys are prepared for the transition. Yes, sir. XFL, baby. Make sure you guys are prepared for the transition. The transition will be going on probably next month. Or like I said, I want to make sure the new studio is built, for the Gridiron Studios. So make sure you guys just go and follow the Gridiron Podcast on Facebook. Make sure you follow the Gridiron Podcast on Twitter. Make sure you also check out and subscribe to the Gridiron Podcast channel on YouTube. You can follow me on TikTok at The Gridiron. You can follow me on Spotify at The Gridiron. You can follow Gabe on Spotify at Gridiron Nation. You can follow Gabe on Twitter. You can follow Gabe on Instagram. You can follow all of us, both of us on all platforms, man. Just search the Gridiron or Gridiron Nation, and you'll find either one of us in our content, man. So again, make sure you guys are following us. Make sure you guys continue to support us, because we'll be there to support you guys in whatever endeavor you're doing. Again, we're going to be having my boy Perp 724, a local rapper in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, and one of my close friends, coming on to the Gridiron here in the next week or two. We're also going to be having Kevin Thurman of the New Jersey Generals coming on to the show in a few weeks, and Joshua Simmons, the leading kick returner and special teams player of the year in the USFL for the Pittsburgh Maulers, coming on to the show too. So we got a lot of guests coming on, guys. We got a lot of things in the works. And now that Gabe is the co-host, anything that's going on with the Gridiron and having guests come on, we're both going to be out there promoting. And, we're both going to be out there, try to build the brand itself. And I'm definitely going to be doing everything I can to build the Gridiron Nation brand for my boy Gabe. So even though he's becoming a permanent co-host of the Gridiron, he still has his own show that he does every Sunday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. What is that?
It'll be changing too when the season comes. I'll be dropping it during the week, because of NFL Sunday football, man. I got my Sundays get reserved for football. But, any people that have been watching or listening to my show since I started it over a year ago, they know this. Once the season kicked in, the show kind of moved to like a Monday or Tuesday format. But if you listen to the show, y'all, or jump in and join with me, man, and I'll keep y'all posted definitely every single episode. Give y'all a heads up if anything will be changing. So.
And the Gridiron will stay on Saturdays, even during the season, even though we do cover NCAA football here. The beauty of it is that there's so many NCAA football games. So the reason why I'm going to continue to do the show on Saturdays is because when we come back the next Saturday, we can recap all the big games from the week before. And not only that, talk about, the upcoming games. So we're going to continue doing the Saturday show with the Gridiron. And even though the NFL season and the NCAA season is starting, I feel that it'll still be lucrative just to keep the show going on Saturdays. Then you got Gridiron Nation on Sunday, transitioning into either Monday or Tuesday during the week. So, it's a lot of football talk, man. We're going to be here to give you guys all the news, go over all the, hottest topics and subjects that's going around all the different football leagues. But you already know, keep it locked here for the Gridiron every Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and I believe that's noon.
I have a hard time with that shit too, man. I have a hard time. That's why I just said, look, man, this is my time, and y'all adjust accordingly based on where you're at. All right, I ain't gonna do it for you. So
right. But again, man, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Rick
thank
Rocker,
you guys, man.
Andy Henderson, JP, Hit, GV, my boy Jake from Marathon Poker. Make sure you go follow my boy Jake from Marathon Poker. He is a poker vlogger, and he also has another YouTube channel coming out for sports betting. So you guys make sure you go and check out my boy Marathon Poker, aka Jake the Snake. You feel me? That's my dude. That's my best friend of almost 20 years, y'all. So make sure you guys go and follow his channel or subscribe to his channel on YouTube and go show him some love. He should be dropping some new content here or some content here. He's just now getting into it. So let's get him, let's help him get some views up and, show him some love when he does start posting some content. But again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. Gabe, again, thank you for being here. And now it's official. You'll be here every week. So
you already know.
We, not just me, but we'll see you guys next Saturday for another amazing episode of the Gridiron. And if there will be a guest on next Saturday, I will let you guys know. If we can't get Kevin Thurman or Joshua Simmons on from the USFL teams, what I'll do is I'll have Perp come on next week, and he can debate with us and his Philadelphia Smeagol's. And how
that'll be fun.
I know, right?
Fun.
That's gonna be awesome. You know what I mean? So, Perp, if you watching, bro, we might just have you on this upcoming Saturday and get it popping, man. So I'll hit you up later on the day and see what we can get going. And me and Gabe will let you know, or I'll let you know if he's gonna be on, so that way we can get together the morning of the show and you guys can introduce yourselves to each other, and then we can go from there, get the show started and have some fun, talk some crap about the Eagles. He can talk his crap about the Cowboys. We can debate back and forth, and we can go from there, man. I think it's gonna be really fun. But again, guys, he's Gabe Garcia. I'm Jersey the King. This is the Gridiron. Don't forget to catch Gridiron Nation tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Y'all already know the time.
Actually, tomorrow, it's going to be at
3:30
p.m. Mountain Time, my time, and it'll be I'll have a live stream interviewing West Coast Cowboy. Y'all, so lock it in, Cowboys fans especially. If you don't like the Cowboys, it's all good. Get on and troll. I don't care. Just show your support. Show up and show out, man. That's all I ask. All right.
You can come on and troll all you want. Come talk your mess. Jump in the chat, get it jumping. Either way, it's gonna be fun, man. But again, Andy and Rig, I want to thank you guys for watching.
Have a good weekend, y'all. Straight up. Have a good weekend, and please be safe, man. Definitely.
Yes, sir. And as my boy Gabe always says, be water, my friends.
Water, my friends. That's it. We're out.
This is the Gridiron Nation. Wow, that sounded crazy together. This is the Gridiron. We will see you guys next Saturday. I'm Jersey the King.
Gridiron. Gabe Garcia. This is the Gridiron.
We the gang, baby.
That's it,
we
baby.
The gang. We are the gang. I love y'all, man. Here's that intro.